Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Good warning, good warning.
I was wondering where you were.
They're making their way over.
So tonight we have a stream with a purpose. For those who aren't already familiar with this, in order for Diana to even get on the list to get a kidney transplant, she has to demonstrate to them that she has a support network to take care of her for at least like 8 weeks afterwards.
And then you can kill me.
Shut the fuck up, Diane.
So this isn't about just raising money, but it's also about having a group of people who will be willing to, go out there and sit with her for a few days or a few weeks each and do it in a rotation. I expect I'm probably going to be the one taking the first shift just because at this point I can be more flexible, so I can be out there in 2 days. So
is that why you were
there by
doing
the time they let her out of the hospital?
I think it might be you and me, Purple. Yeah. You do day shift and I'll do night shift. And driving.
Yeah. Well, it only takes me 2 days to get there because it's a 19-hour drive.
I think it's pretty similar for me. We're actually pretty close, I think.
Yeah. If necessary, I could literally be leaving here in a matter of hours.
We could maybe even carpool.
That's what I need to do.
I'm not sure where you live at.
I can give you details sometime in private chat, but I think we're in the same general area, and if I'm going to be bringing my truck anyway, I could, swing a little side mission.
Okay.
Purple, you are so considerate. We need to do it.
Well,
we need to do an
I try to be
appreciation
there.
stream.
There's been, a lot of times in my life that I wouldn't have gotten through without other people helping me out. And I can't really pay back the people who helped me years ago, so all I can do is pay it forward.
I'm all about talk about it, don't be about it, and you truly do pay it forward, so should be recognized.
The other thing I would like to mention is I'm still trying to set up the Christmas Day stream, and have not really been getting a lot of people willing to take a time slot for that. So the schedule's still kind of sparse right now. We've got a lot of time slots to fill.
On the day of Christmas, the 25th?
Well, in order to cover Christmas around the whole world, we need to run all day on the 24th and 25th.
I can do the wee hours of the morning hour time, Purple.
Okay, what time?
I could do I normally get up at 5 a.m. So
okay, well that would be excellent. Yeah, because that's being a difficult time to fill.
I celebrate Christmas on the 24th, so I'm down to avoid my family. So let me know.
Because we're trying to go from from what's midnight Christmas Eve in New Zealand all the way around until it's midnight Christmas Day in American Samoa.
Let's see. It's a Saturday here. What times are available as far as early morning hours? If I started at 7, would that still be helpful? Or earlier is better?
Whatever time you want at this point.
Okay.
Like I said, I have been having trouble getting people to commit to anything specific, so I really only have a handful of time slots that are filled. Most of them are open. And for Christmas Eve, Junie is starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got no one before that.
I will take 7 a.m. And you said they're starting at 10 a.m. Central Time?
Yeah.
I'll take 7 to 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's a little long for me, but I'll figure something out because I usually go about 2 hours, but I can stretch it out. We'll go 3.
Well, for most people, we're asking, if people take 2-hour time slots. If you're willing to take 7 to 10, we'll see if somebody can fill in a bit before that. And
yeah, I mean, easily you can make it 8 to 10, no problem. But if you're having issues getting it in the early morning, I
Yeah.
can.
So, well, anyone else who is willing to take a time slot, just DM me on Twitter.
And if you would DM me
I
details,
really-
there's like a thumbnail and stuff.
Yeah,
that you want me
I
to-
really have not been promoting this enough. I realize I've been kind of scrambled this month, and the weeks are getting away from me.
Same with me and this streamathon that we're doing right now. Actually, I know that
I
it's
was
just part
supposed to
one,
help
but
you more with setting this up, and I dropped the ball on this.
you guys have been a great help. There's a lot of people here who have been a big help. Spackle, unfortunately, with work schedule and stuff, she's not able to get in the stream, but she has been like hugely helpful behind the scenes. It just, yeah, you guys, this has been like a huge team effort. Like I appreciate you all so much. Diana, there are so many freaking people who love you. Like so many people
Why?
who love
For
you.
fuck's sake, why? I don't get it. I don't.
Because you're amazing. You're a
Oh,
great person.
Moog beef. Stop with all the self-hatred.
Poo poo pee pee.
No, it's not self-hatred,
Poo-poo-poo-poo.
honey. It's just confusion. I mean,
You-
I'm not-
okay,
You
Well, you
guys,
just
in the chat,
accepted
you are
it.
like, you guys are so
Okay,
amazing.
Diana.
Look at this. We are at what does it say? I updated it, but now I can't see my own screen. I think it's $830 that we are up to. And you guys in the chat, like you guys are responsible for that. Thank you so much. Like
Okay, Diana, will you just accept that you are an elder of the community, so it's our time to take care of you?
Oh boy, Elder is
that's
right.
the way it goes. So you can-
in a
yeah,
completely
you can
secular
feed me
way,
gruel, huh?
I say amen to that. Amen to that.
Is amen a religious only word?
No, it goes back to Amen, like Amen Ra.
Yeah. It just means like, and so be it.
Right. I had been wondering what the roots of it were.
It just means like
Well-
say it's Hebrew. I mean,
Okay, well, just since
you
I-
know
the
what
last
is it where they
couple of
say so
years-
say we all? Like that's
Yeah.
basically what it is.
Battlestar Galactica.
That's it. Thank you.
Yep. So say we all.
That's what it
well, the
means.
last couple of years since I've been in this community, when my family has kind of forced me to say grace at the end, I've been saying Aran, and no one's counted on yet. So
I say
So can-
ramen.
Oh yeah, that's always a good one.
So can I
So would it
point
be,
something
yeah.
out that's so I've made this a point like a while back, but whoever came up with nephrology as like the specialty of medicine relating to kidneys missed a very good opportunity to call it nephromancy, and I don't know why they didn't do that.
Rename it and just don't ever stop saying it. It'll
It
catch
is,
on.
yeah. I have my school of nephromancy now because the world of wizardry is now tainted with turfs. So it's now the school of nephromancy, and it's all kidney themed.
Well, you do know that
Nice.
necrophilia is a dying art, though.
You're
I
Thank
don't
you,
know how I
Diane.
feel about that one.
Jenny keeps it alive and well, obviously.
I feel like necromancy and necrophilia are very different things.
Well, yeah, kind of.
well, you hope they're
Depends whether or
different.
not you get married to it.
You don't want the patient to slide from one to the other.
Now I just have Cannibal Corpse blaring in my head. Good, good music.
Yeah, I will be a master nephromancer.
That's sort of
Okay,
ended
well, I was
everything right
typing this
there.
in the chat, but there's a lull in the people talking, so I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm gonna have to take off in a little bit so that I can like catch some Z's really quick because I'm gonna be like streaming for a while. You know, with the Jimmy Snow reactions, I might get on some DCUO and play some DC
Oh hell yeah!
Universe
Level
online.
up your character.
Yeah, because I was doing that one that you were playing. I was doing it the other night, so I might be doing that. But I do need to take an opportunity here to like catch a little bit of sleep, so that I'm not completely dead tomorrow.
Well,
by
Minnow,
the time we get this done.
Minnow, if you leave me a link in the Twitter DM, I will come on and bother you whenever I can.
Absolutely. I will absolutely do that. Yes. Definitely. And then Purple, I had asked you on Twitter, I don't know if she's there or not, but if there's anybody who's going to be up around that time, if I could like send a trusted person my phone number to maybe shoot me
Yeah,
a
I had
text.
responded to you on Twitter while you were
Oh, I'm
still in
sorry.
still
I'm
in the end of
sorry.
stream there. So
Gotcha.
yeah, if you want to, I can give you a call in an hour to get you going again.
Sweet. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for doing
Or
this and
if
helping.
if you really need to, we could stretch this out to 3 hours if you need a bit more time.
Hey.
Um,
Yeah.
I
just
dare
give me,
not.
yeah.
I dare not.
Well, I mean, it's not really uncommon for my chats to run 4 to 5 hours. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
saying that we would go
dang.
more than 2 hours is not really a big sacrifice here.
Okay. Well, I have on my channel, I think I just have it like listed in order of operations. So like definitely they'll come looking here if they don't see me there. So
The
that
thing
might work.
is now that I dare not call Minnow to wake her up because we'll end up on the phone for 5.5 hours again, right?
That could happen. That could happen. You were supposed to call me this morning and you didn't. And then by the time I figured out, I was like, I didn't want to call you because I was afraid it was too late at that point.
Yeah, why the hell did I not call you this? I think I forget it. You can kill me now if you want. Yeah, because I was supposed to call you from dialysis. Yeah.
You were. But that's okay. All right, I'm gonna go grab some sleeps really quick, and I will try and pop back in by the end of this stream. How does that sound? Whether you're going 2 hours or 3, I'll try and be back on,
Okay.
and I'll shoot you that phone number here.
You're gonna shoot me? You're gonna shoot? Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Well,
No.
sweet dreams and great orgasms.
Thank you.
Christmas Goblin 2.
Oh, a stable
Like it.
milking stool. Of course.
What happened to Christmas Goblin 1?
My computer's gone completely potato.
I ate it.
Oh,
Have
that's
you ever
the
seen
problem.
your movie?
Potatoes.
Have you ever seen the movie Goblin 2, which is in absolutely no way related to the movie Goblin?
Oh, I'm back. I can move. Yeah.
I love
Oh
It
yeah,
is
I saw
literally
that.
Happy
one
movie.
of the worst movies ever made.
Oh,
Oh,
come
good.
on. I love B movies. You don't like B? I love the old sci-fi movies like Rock Monster, Big Ass Spider. Those are
Oh
great
God,
movies.
yes.
I can
Oh.
get into B movies, but part
Those are
part
so
of it is how
horribly
bad
Oh,
they are.
them.
made. They're just
The
outrageously
them about
funny.
the giant ants.
So in
Yeah.
agreement with you.
I still watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, I love that film.
Oh, killer clowns
I like-
from outer space.
I
Killer
like
clowns
Giant-
from outer
Giant
fucking
Lady.
space.
Yeah.
I
Giant
love
Lady,
the
what was that one
Tomato
called?
Films. They're beautiful.
I go looking for those. Like I don't watch. The news is so depressing. I go looking for crappy movies.
I'm personally kind of partial to I forget the official title, the one where Santa Claus invades Mars or something like that.
Oh.
Oh, Santa Claus
All right.
conquered the Martians. Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna head out because I'm streaming pretty early my time, so I'll see you all later, and I'll leave a spot open for whoever else wants to get in this.
Thank
Okay.
you, Ben,
Business.
for
Oh,
coming
yeah.
on mine, especially last minute, and
We'll see you
for
later.
listening to me. and
Hey
dealing
Ben,
with me
same goes
when
for
I
you.
freak out.
If you want me to come on and bother you from time to time on your
Oh,
stream,
absolutely.
leave me a link.
Yeah, I'm going on with B at like 5 a.m. my time, so 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Wow.
I can send you a link, and if you want to come in, great. It's gonna be early, but
Groovy.
But Ben,
bye everyone.
seriously,
Oh.
thank you. I love you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you all pretty early in the morning.
Nice.
Take care, kid.
Good night, Ben.
For you and everything. And a little thing with Jenny mentioning Santa Claus and the Martians. That one featured I believe, 12-year-old Pia Zadora.
I have to Google.
Oh,
it.
really?
Might have made her first film appearance.
That's one I actually haven't seen.
I just read Stool's message.
Oh, what the hell now, Stool?
Did you know that Pia Zadora, after her illustrious porn career, got elected
haven't
to the
sent a
Italian
message.
Senate.
Oh, another
They
one
actually
like
elected a
that.
porn star.
Well, that would not have been the
Sex
first
workers
time,
are
would it?
people too. So
Wasn't there a madam in California somewhere who was elected mayor of her town?
Probably, we're really open-minded here.
In the 2016 election, Las Vegas elected a dead pimp.
That is the name of my next punk album,
Oh.
Dead Pimp.
Better than a live one.
Well, he wasn't dead when the campaign began, but he died like 2 months before the election, and the ballots were already printed. So his name was on there, and he still got the most votes, even though he had died 2 months before the election.
You know, most people that have say around here are sex workers because they're the ones that pay taxes and can afford to live here.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
And the porn industry was here forever, so like sex workers have say around here.
Oh, I just watched Boogie Nights the other day. It came
Hey,
on
it's
one
one
of the
product
movie
that's
channels.
always in demand.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rex.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I just talked over you. That was rude.
Boogie Nights is a great movie, and they still party like that in Hollywood right now. Right now, they're partying like that in Hollywood. No
Jesus
masks.
Christ. Wow.
You know, comedians talk about it all the time, but Hollywood is the only place I've ever lived where doing drugs openly is socially acceptable.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
You're right about that. Yeah.
And I've lived in Portland, Oregon, where everybody was on drugs.
Okay, important, I do need somebody to drop the link for anyone who wants to make donations.
Huh? What?
I don't have the link handy. I'll also need to put it into the description.
Oh, I don't even know if I've got the put it in.
What's to the kidney fund.
Yeah.
The sick man has it in the top right corner of his screen there. Let's see what we've got.
done.
.com. All right. There it is. It's I see Manda got it too. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
She
that's
beat
good.
me to it.
So I'm having a problem with my voice. Please don't put me in the actual stream. I just came in to ask what channel this is on.
CBS.
No, which YouTube channel? I want to.
It's on my channel.
Okay, I'm sorry. For some reason it's not popping up for me. I'll just search it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay,
Please put me in the backstage, please. I'm hella dysphoric.
Okay. I mean, it's not a problem if you just want to sit there quietly too. I have to keep muting myself because my cough is pretty bad tonight.
No, I just don't want to be on the stream at all. I've had I have negative vibes. I just want to watch
Okay,
on
I'll
YouTube.
drop you to the back room.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care, honey. And that just brought Donald Sutherland to mind, the character Oddball in Kelly's Heroes, with the negative waves, Moriarty.
Oh yeah, the tank driver. Yeah.
Kelly's Heroes is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, he was just nuts in that movie. Yeah.
Isn't that with Kelly Savalas?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, let's see. Kelly Savalas, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
Donald
it had a real
Sutherland,
all-star
John
cast.
Rickles.
It had a real all-star cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because the TV series is so well known, most people don't realize that he was also in the movie of MASH.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. It was
Donald
Donald Sutherland was Hawkeye, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Who played Trapper John in that movie? Fuck.
I'd have to
Can't
look it up
think-
again.
Where
I'm
is
not
my
very good
other
with
phone?
Well,
actors.
he's right on the tip of my tongue. Elliot
You
Gould.
wish.
Elliot Gould. There you go. There you go. And what's her name was Hot Lips. I can't think of her name either. Shit.
Loretta. No, that was
Loretta Swift. No, what?
Um,
That was the series. Yeah.
Karen Black, wasn't it?
Fuck, I'm horrible with names. I'm just
I
saying.
think it was Karen Black.
And then I think, isn't it the case that Gary Berghoff was the only person who was cast on both the film and the television?
Yes.
Yeah, he was Radar. Yeah, he was Radar. Yeah. Radar O'Reilly.
MASH was
Wait for it,
wonderful
wait for it.
series until they messed around with it and added a fucking laugh track.
Oh yeah.
But that was that era though. Any show from that era had a laugh track. The openings were all the same. They kind of followed a formula.
Yeah, but the original did not, and it was much better.
Okay. Sally Kellerman played Hot Lips.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. The one
And
they
Robert Duvall played Frank Burns.
Frank Burns.
Yeah, he was Frank, wasn't he? Yeah, that's right. I loved when they did the drum roll and then they pulled the fucking shower tin up. That was great. He was like, I'm gonna resign my commission. My commission.
I think it's interesting that the TV series lasted twice as long as the actual war.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it did.
Well, they had to keep it going. They're doing that with The Walking Dead. They have super succeeded the comic book long time ago.
Oh yeah, that's when I got tired of watching The Walking Dead. And that's like the last season of Game of Thrones. They had went past the books, and then it was just like crap.
They started taking liberties, and even with The Walking Dead, the last 3 seasons, they completely changed the concept and kept certain people alive. They killed people that lived longer. But I'm not necessarily a purist. I'm okay if they remake it for a different generation, but it's not how I remember it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I read a lot of Star Trek books. I read a lot of books, and if you stay canon with Star Trek, it goes all over the place. And they've changed it all. If you watch Discovery now, it's completely changed.
Oh, I've watched the first 2 seasons of Discovery. Then I was like, no, I'm done.
I'm biased. I am so biased. I watched it today. It was another good episode. But now that they have, they're established, they have more money. Every episode is like a movie.
Oh yeah.
Every episode.
I think you have to when you look at spin-offs, you have to look at them as okay, you understand that it was a spin-off and that, but it's more than likely got completely different directors, producers, writers. That it's a unique series all unto itself. It's like the difference in the character of Lou Grant between Mary Tyler Moore and Stone Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a big difference between a spin-off and a continuation. And the fan expectations should be different for that.
People complaining on the internet completely changed my attitude towards sci-fi in general, where if I don't like something, I won't whine about it, because when they changed Doctor Who to a woman, I watched grown men lose their shit. Grown men just oh my God, you've ruined this and this. They're literally pretending to be the doctor. And they can't handle that the doctor's a woman,
Oh, when they did that,
I'm a fan.
In the last series with what's his name, the gray-haired guy, they turned the master into a woman. Yeah, they turned the master into a woman.
Missy was awesome. She said that she literally she set a town on fire just to light up the sky. Missy was awesome.
Yep. I mean, I'm all about Doctor Who.
Me too.
It's a great show.
I'm a-
It's a great show.
I watched the autobiographical film of Christine Jorgensen, and they turned her into a woman too. Sorry, I couldn't resist it.
I mean, hey, it was right there. We laid it down and you picked it up. So, look, you're choking so in there.
I'm
He's
far
gonna
away from my
choke it.
mute button.
Yeah, he's going to choke to death on camera. We all get to watch.
That's pot's legal in California.
Oh, it's legal in Virginia too. I can grow four
Really?
plants. Yeah, I can grow 4 plants and have an ounce, but I grew 4 plants and they were all fucking male. So
See,
I drank them. Yeah.
I actually got lucky. I got lucky this year, and it was the first time I successfully grew pot ever and had like mass amounts. So I can't wait till next year because I learned a lot. I'm gonna come back with all kinds of new stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a learning
I
curve.
can't wait.
It's a learning curve.
Attention, ding, 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 ding. I'm going to take bids, or not bids, but I'm going to entertain the chat to contribute. That if anybody in the chat can put together $10 donation, I will have my last half of my last bagel for the storm-ridden weekend that we're about to have, with not only chive and onion cream cheese, but peanut butter at the same time.
Ooh. Okay. You do you.
Oh, I have crazy combinations. I smoke pot. You should see me at 2 a.m. in the kitchen.
He's got crackers and cheese and peanut butter and fucking sour cream and all kinds of shit.
Lately, I've been making tacos because I'm obsessed with the hard shell. You fry them on the stove with the corn. Make them street taco style.
Oh, I've been doing put the burritos in the air fryer and cook them first, and then I put the chili and the cheese and whatever else I wanted there, onions and peppers or whatever, and then I cook it again. And yeah, that's like a super taco salad.
Oh yeah,
fuck some taco hell. Yeah, fuck some taco hell. That shit's great.
Tom Baker was my first doc.
Tom Baker's the most iconic. He's the first one most people think of.
Although I really like Pertwee.
Yeah, I really haven't followed any of the new series, so what I know is about halfway through Pertwee and then up through Colin Baker.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Matt Smith will make you cry, and David Tennant is Doctor Who.
I did see 2 seasons of David Tennant.
David Tennant knew what he was doing, and Matt Smith, when Matt Smith first came out, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch it. Who is this kid? Absolutely put on a show.
Oh yeah, the bow tie and the fez. Yeah, that was cool. That was great.
I was kind of iffy up until the episode of the Pandorica opens, and that was classic Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
When they were was gonna explode. The doctor was like, I'm not gonna explode. Don't put me in jail. Oh, it was awesome. Just awesome.
Oh, my favorite David Tennant episode was the one where he sent this message back in time telling these kids about the weeping angels.
Oh, Sally Sparrow.
Yeah. That shit is great. I was
I really liked Peter Davidson.
Well, they met him in who? What? I said, oh, it must have been something I did in the future. Well, okay.
Yeah.
That's how the doctor works. Yeah.
They kind of did that in the new series. On the first episode of the new series, someone walks up to the doctor and Yaz and is like, oh, you guys haven't met me yet, but you will. And that's like classic Sally Sparrow style because she knew them and they had no idea who she was.
Exactly.
There were even a couple of times they did that. I think Pertwee did at least once, and Baker did it a couple of times. I know it came up in the Genesis of the Daleks.
I have all those on VHS. I got to dig them out and watch them.
Oh, who was the doctor the first time they met the Cybermen? That was black and white. That was way, way long ago.
That
was
was
the first Doctor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, that was the second doctor. No, it was
That-
the second doctor.
I think
Patrick something.
Was it? Oh, I think it was the second Doctor.
Let
You
me
know what?
look up.
Well,
Sure.
also they don't have the count right because
Oh,
they
no,
never
they
give
don't.
credit to Peter Cushing playing him in the movies before the series started.
Okay, so are you thinking of Patrick Cotton?
Is that his name? Did you cheat and look it up?
Yes, I
Patrick
did.
Troughton.
I wasn't going to remember his full name.
Well, yeah, he had like the Beatles haircut. He was the doctor that had
Yeah,
the Beatles.
yeah. that
Well,
was-
kind of like the Beatles meet the Three Stooges, and I love the Three Stooges.
Yeah, he did have that Mo Howard look going there. didn't he?
Totally.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did. But yeah, I think that was the first appearance of the Cybermen was in that second Doctor series. Yeah, because they had like the terry cloth shit over their face and the weird helmets on, and yeah, they weren't the Cybermen.
Oh, that's right. They were the Mondasian Cyberman because they brought him back with Peter Capaldi. That was like the part of his whole death and regeneration.
Peter Capaldi. Yeah, that's the dude's name. That's the dude's name. The doctor that went blind. Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good episodes.
Oh yeah. He had to wear his what was it? Sonic sunglasses? Was that what he called them?
Amazing idea. It was hokey. Like everybody hated Clara, but Clara was like, really? Well, the first time he was like Sonic sunglasses. It's kind of like when I bumped Slayer and my kids like, this is old people music. It's cool to me.
Kiss. Yeah, listen to Kiss. Oh, this fucking sucks. Yeah. I'm like, you know nothing.
Kiss was old
today.
people music when it first came out.
I went and saw Aerosmith and Kiss happened to be playing, and half of the stadium walked out when Kiss came out, and they're from LA. You know, at least now, you know, because they've gone full Kardashian. They've all got plastic surgery. They literally live next to the Kardashians. They've all had reality shows.
Really?
Oh
I've
shit!
never-
I'm sorry. I thought I muted.
Kiss is super Hollywood. They drag them out for major events.
Well, we have to pull out the classic Kiss Safe Santa Claus, right?
Oh, every year in this house, it's the Run DMC song.
I can't wait till Kiss. The members of Kiss are all in their 80s, and they get some special where people want to bring them on for a retro show, and they make them all put that makeup on.
You know who I thought was way older, who is actually young, was Snoop Dogg. Because it's a Snoop Dogg night tonight in the LA Kings versus the Dallas Stars. And he just looks older, but he's smoked more weed than any human being who's ever lived. And it takes a toll on you.
More than Willie Nelson?
So, no BS. Willie Nelson came to my town, and true to Willie Nelson being a fucking legend, I walked past his tour bus and it reeked of weed. So Willie Nelson is a no BS. Willie Nelson is everything that he says he is. I respect people like that. And he performed in my the Performing Arts Center out here.
when we were living in Michigan for a bar Halloween party, Sloth Girl braided my hair and made a cardboard guitar, and I went as Willie Nelson. And everybody there said I should have gotten first place in the contest, but because it was a small town, the prize went to the judge's cousin.
What was the judge's cousin dressed as?
I don't even remember.
It's lame. Lame.
One of the
Well,
Yeah,
Google,
but
always
I
number
definitely
one
had the
lead
popular vote. Everybody was saying I should have won it.
the judge's son came as one of the Google dolls.
I loved Angel's costume last year. It was just a DIY thing that he put together. He wore my flight jacket, and he has this Russian Ushanka, one of those like Russian winter hat things, and he went as the Cold War.
Yeah. But that's, when I had
No,
the
sorry,
full
the
beard.
space race. He went as the space race. That's what it was.
When I had the full beard, I didn't really even need to do much for Willie. I just need to braid my hair and have the bandana and a guitar.
Very cool.
I still have
Yeah,
that
doesn't have to be
shirt.
Big.
Willie Nelson was actually a good show.
His voice still holds up at his age. It's just amazing. How old is he now? Anybody know?
Alexa, how old is Willie Nelson? He's 88. He's the same age as Louis Farrakhan. Wow.
88?
Yeah, they are aging out, and the King scored.
Wow.
The weed has preserved him.
I
Yeah,
wish that
that's
was
proof
true.
positive. Weed isn't going to kill you.
I wish that was true.
Oh. Oh, you don't look bad there.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Of course, Willie Nelson looked 88 when he was 22.
That's
My
fair.
pops used to say that about Walter Brennan. He was just born old.
Yeah.
Just one of those people that always looked old.
God, I just saw something with him on it. Some old Western. Well, he was always in Westerns. He wasn't in anything modern, was he?
Jesus.
I love quoting those old movies because no one knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I say no brag, just fact all the time. And
Oh, Will Sonnet.
yep. Not too many people know that. Some
Willie
people
Nelson was in a weird B sci-fi movie, and I can't remember the title of it.
They probably caught him on a good day.
Well, that's going to be an IMDb. You got to check it out.
They filmed Sons of Anarchy over by the ranch, and anyone that had a motorcycle, if you drove by, they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to be on TV?" You just got to be ready.
You want to be on TV? No, not really. It'll ruin my image.
Harleys are one of those funny things that you could buy a Harley, put on some leather, and then go scare some people 2 towns over on the weekend, and then go home and be a banker. Or like I call mine, probation and parole.
Well, that's like Sturgis. You used to go to Sturgis, and it was just all bikers. And now you go to Sturgis, and you see your lawyer and your accountant, and and maybe even your proctologist.
Oh, A&E goes there with their shows. It's a huge event now. But it's kind of like Coachella was for homeless people, and Burning Man. All those events were like, for people who were taking acid and peyote and were up for a couple of days.
Does Burning Man still go on?
You know what? I know someone that puts it on, and I still don't know.
Yeah, they were still doing it because there was some controversy that even with the pandemic they went on. I think they missed 1 year for the pandemic.
I apologize. I have the sniffles here.
How are you feeling, Jenny? Jenny? Jenny?
I think she blew her nose off.
I said, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fine. Oh God, let's see.
Are you finally on the
Sometime
mend?
around my 60th year, my right nostril developed this really annoying habit of whenever it feels like it just starts to kind of like turn on like a water faucet, and I get this constant drip, drip, drip of snot. It frequently happens during meals, so I find it pretty difficult to go out and have a meal with somebody in a restaurant, and it's just this awful, horrible thing, and I don't know what to do about it. The doctor just goes, "Oh, okay." No, do something about it. Cauterize the entire side of my nose.
Yeah.
Make it stop. uh,
So I just read Larry Smith's comment. You could go to Burning Man. You could be sober and you'd still have the time of your life because people lose their damn mind. And if you go sober and you know CPR, you'll be popular.
oh, jeez.
It's true. I know CPR.
I heard that Burning Man was such that even I could get laid.
Well, I live in a place where like women outnumber men 7-1, so even gay guys get laid out here. So yes, I'm too old for all that though. Honestly, I don't have the patience to be going to a festival for 3 days. I have a camper. I would be hanging out in my camper the whole time. I had a great time going to shows and stuff, but I just don't have the chops for it anymore. I'll go for like 1 day, but I won't go for the weekend anymore.
Oh yeah, we can only take so much now. Yeah. I think we're fucking done.
You know what? I don't have the patience for people. And you know, the older you get, the younger generation sucks. No matter what generation you're from, you look down and you're like, oh, they're lame.
Yeah,
You know, and that's every
Oh yeah, I'm always like, I need a fucking nap now. Fuck all those things. Yeah.
As the song goes, every generation blames the one before.
Damn right. Damn right. No, because people will say, oh, this generation is that and that. And it's like, who made them? We did. So you can't necessarily talk shit because we're the ones that did it in the first place, you know?
Well, we bitched about our parents just like the kids are bitching about the boomers now. You know, fuck them, but we did it too.
I'm biased because I was raised by boomers. They're all right.
Everyone always complains the younger generation is ruining everything.
And I don't disagree with that with the boomer thing. It's just that it's not all boomers. Some of us are still pretty cool. Not many, but some of us.
Oh wait, I've got something for Amanda. Hang on, let me turn my cam off.
Okay, I found it.
By the way, I'm only going to leave this bagel challenge open for about another 2 minutes because I just keep staring at this thing and I really want to eat it.
Gross, Jenny. Yes, Rex.
Hang on, give me a second. This fucking tablet is bullshit.
Starlight was the bad science fiction movie that Willie Nelson was in. If you like B movies, it's still probably not worth watching.
Starlight.
I smoke top shelf, man.
I just put a link in the side chat for my IMDb for it.
Didn't he have a song by that title?
I guarantee you it's on YouTube. If it's a really bad movie, it's probably on YouTube.
This shit is not cooperating.
It's okay.
Of course it's on here.
Oh, I missed something in the side chat here. Mage Wolf said, since I had no reference for how you look, saying you looked like Willie Nelson and came out as trans, my mind put Willie Nelson's body on Dolly Parton. Willie Nelson's head on Dolly Parton's body.
Oh, Jesus.
I went back on your
Yeah,
channel and
I
looked.
wish I could look as good as Dolly Parton.
I got curious like a year ago, so I went back on your channel and looked at your face reveal.
Yep. Yeah, it's there from right after our move.
Yep.
Oh,
Is it
good
popping
night,
up?
Sarah.
Yep. Ah, is it a Western? Oh, Willie Nelson's been in a bunch. Willie Nelson's been in a
Oh, okay.
bunch
So
of
that
bad
is the
movies.
case.
Well,
I-
he's
I-
been
I
in a lot
wonder-
of bad movies as himself. This was a bad movie that he was actually playing a character.
I forgot. There's a gang of bad movies
You know,
on here.
it's excusable if he's just doing like a cameo as himself that they show him performing in a bar or something. You know, but this is one that he actually took a role and practiced a script.
Interesting point here, though. I looked up the film on the IMDb thing. It turns out that Tommy Chong's daughter was also in that film.
Wow.
Ray Dawn Chong.
Ray Dong Chong. Is that what you just said?
Ray Dawn Chong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy Chong's daughter.
It's just that's a funny name. So.
Yeah.
He got prison time for mailing a bong out of California.
Everybody
Yeah.
see that Sammy's here. Oh, nice shirt. I love it. Very cool.
Join the empire. Yep.
Hell yeah, where'd you get that?
Hey, Sam.
Somebody gave it to me for Christmas a couple of years back.
That is really cool. Thank you, Rex.
What does
Made
it
my
say?
night.
I only can see part of it.
It says
Win
join
the
the empire and support the revolution at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, we can't see the bottom of
This
it.
is one of our favorite things, me and Angel, is either clones or trooper art. Like, we have some really cool trooper art and stuff, and Angel loves the clones, so that shit, you love that. Thank you, Rex. I really appreciate that, you sharing. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. I thought that'd make you feel a little bit better. Join the empire,
Larry,
support the revolution.
Thank you.
That's right. All right.
I have
Larry.
awesome friends. Thank you. Mwah.
From the side chat, Larry had mentioned the therapist who gave me my letter for top surgery referred to my chest as Dolly Parton-esque. True story. By your description, the way you were talking, the word that would come to my mind would be babushka. I tell you, you go through Squirrel Hill in the here in Pittsburgh, the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. There are a lot of Russian immigrants, and these ladies with their tits in their laps already, they're sitting there. Like, boy, they get amazing front ends. Like, I don't know how they can walk. Really, I don't.
I am from the
My cousin
land.
actually had to have hers reduced because they were destroying her back.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I was talking about this last night. I really have to wonder about the cross-dressers especially, but there are some trans girls who say they want, J cups and K cups.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what they're saying.
I've known enough women who have had things like that. My fiance was a J cup, and
Okay.
I would not want to deal with anything like that. I mean, I think a C would be ideal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from the land of boob jobs. I'm shocked. Here people are shocked when a woman actually has natural breasts. So I'm not anti-plastic surgery.
I would like to have enough that there's noticeable cleavage, just because that's like one surefire key that people will take you as female.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that has a lot to do with what bra you're wearing too, and it's not just size.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And
Well-
another trick in Hollywood and TV, if it's really subtle, so people generally don't notice it. Frequently, a woman on TV who's trying to show cleavage will have her arms very close to her sides because that helps
Yeah.
to push them together.
Oh, yeah, right.
And give the illusion, so
I've seen
don't
that.
be fooled, folks.
I think I'm going to have a problem with cleavage regardless because mine seem to like be pointing out to the sides. So getting them to come together in the middle is going to be an issue.
Well, you need a outlet to come along.
Right now.
You know, you hook it between the two nipples and just, you know, ratchet them closer together.
Well, that's what I figured, that or, you know, the gaffer's tape or something.
Just tape that shit down or up. You gotta kind of get it up and over and in.
But we'll have to see if I develop anything to begin with.
Okay, time's up on this bagel bet. I'm going to eat my bagel with just straight cream
Try
cheese.
the
So
bagel, kids.
Yeah,
sorry, folks.
Actually, I have not been monitoring the site.
Oh, okay. I'll wait.
I totally forgot who came on my show like 5 minutes ago. Stool and Savage. Sorry. I'm trying. I can't do like more than one thing at once because I'm dumb.
Well, I pinned the link at the top, but now it's like not letting me actually go to the link that I pinned.
Shit. Yeah, forget it. I'll do it later.
And I have been not doing well tonight with keeping up with things, so I haven't even been getting everybody's links into the description like I normally should. I may have to go back and do that.
You're a failure.
Oh, well, see, here's full disclosure. I don't use Twitter. I use Discord. I use YouTube. I use Facebook. Facebook's mostly for family and old friends from high school. I do not use Twitter because there's too much bullshit that goes on there. And I'm just like, no.
Well, see,
okay. Is the link going to make me do math? It doesn't actually show the total. It just shows how many donations.
I think it really depends. Yeah, you're gonna have to just multiply it by 5. I think it really depends on like who you're following and stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't think I have too much. You know, you can stumble into a lot of toxicity if you go looking for it. But I try to like follow. You know, most of my Twitter is my atheist fam and my Twitter people, and I make sure to follow a lot of dogs.
Okay, so
dogs and cats and birds.
Looks like we're up to $860 on the Ko-fi.
Awesome.
I honestly wouldn't even be on Twitter if I didn't make.
And just to clarify to people, the money being collected on the Ko-fi is to cover travel and lodging expenses for the people who are going to go and help.
Yeah, that's for them. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to need a few $1,000s for that. Enough to basically, for somebody to be able to go there and people rotating out, but basically covering hotels for the 8 weeks.
And remember, folks in the chat, you could choose to volunteer to be one of those people who goes and, well, if we get enough donations, you're going to get a paid vacation to Pittsburgh.
That's a vacation. Wait a fucking minute.
Do it. Have to run away.
That doesn't sound right.
We really should contact the Pittsburgh Tourist Board because they probably do pay people to take vacations there.
I am just totally amazed that I've been here 33 years. I never thought I'd be in Pittsburgh over half my life.
Well, we had a number of people volunteer to come and help Diana, but they said you'd have to move to Philadelphia first.
Okay.
No. Hard pass.
Well, we have people here to help. We've been trying to get her to move to Minnesota.
Get her to move to Canada.
I've seriously been suggesting that for a couple of years because Sloth Girl has already volunteered to drive her to all of her appointments if she was here.
Oh.
But
And
Yeah,
Diana
get her
feels
to move.
she's at home where she is now and doesn't want to move.
Get her to move to Kansas and live with the children of the corn. I'm just saying that'd be a lot better.
Well,
I'm
actually,
gonna.
the overall plan is to get everyone to move to Minnesota, and then we get Canada to annex Minnesota.
Oh, what? I'm
I'm gonna.
sorry, Purple. I love you to death, but nobody wants to move to Minnesota. No.
Not even if you get to be part of Canada and you get out of the U.S.
I live in
Oh,
paradise.
really?
You guys, peace. Peace
Fuck
out.
out of the state.
Third largest economy in America.
Well, Minnesota is just Canada light.
I'm gonna move to where Rex lives though, and open up a pot farm.
Oh, sure. Come on, move to the mountains of Virginia. It's fucking cold as hell right now. You will not like it. I guarantee it.
I lived up north for a while. I've been around the world. I've been to the UK. I've experienced cold.
Oh, we had snow yesterday. We had snow yesterday. And it's supposed to get snow Saturday. So, okay.
Well,
Bring it.
I
Bring
think
it.
Minnesota may get the worst of the temperature extremes of anywhere in the country. Because in January, we will get 40 below. And at the end of July, we will get a week in the triple digits.
Hey, well, me and Sewing will hook up and grow a big fucking pot farm.
Oh, well,
We'll
yeah.
grow hemp and pot and whatever
Well,
else.
and that's one of my things. You always see these going around on Twitter about, if you won the lottery, what would you do? And yeah, one of my plans is I would buy an abandoned mining town and just set it up for all the people in our community who need a better place to live.
I wanted to buy like an old.
That way we could elect all of our own people to the city council and we could slowly start taking over the state from there.
I was thinking about buying like a real bunker, but the old military bunkers, they treat them like garbage. They get moldy inside. Like there's a lot of upkeep to own one of those things.
Well, yeah, literally in Minnesota along the Iron Range, there are entire abandoned towns you could buy.
Oh, sure, ghost towns. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've got about $500,000, you can just go and buy an entire town.
That's it?
Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty cheap. Nobody wants them up there.
That's
So
crazy.
I see that Stool has a little message for us. He's screaming at us to quit pinning the wrong link.
Oh.
It seems that it's LL Kidney Fund.
Where I live in LA, everything's overpriced. So to hear that, that's crazy to me. I run property. My family owns property. Like, I'm gonna go buy a town, a couple of them.
Oh shit! You could buy a fucking 1,000 acres where I live for like $250,000.
That's crazy. That's crazy. My neighbor sold their house for $800,000, and that was the crappy house.
Shit.
Right up until the 1980s, there were a couple of counties in Minnesota that were still giving away free homesteads for you to develop the land.
Because I grew up around tractors and farming and stuff like that, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I live in the suburbs and I grow my own food still.
Yep.
Well, me too.
Up until like 1987, Coochin County would give you 10 acres if you'd build a house on it and live there for more than 5 years.
Well, this county that I live in Minnesota really has a bit of a problem. Their biggest thing to push to get people to move here is that we're the sinkhole capital of the world.
All right.
That's why I don't live near the beach. They have these like multi-million-dollar properties sitting on the cliff, and you better if you buy it, you better live in it now because eventually it's going to return into the ocean.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. It'll just fucking fall into the sea, and you're just like, well, what the hell?
Well, it's happening now, because as human beings, we don't know what's going to happen 100-something years. So certain parts of Santa Monica are literally being moved back because it's fallen back into the ocean.
Jesus.
Same thing in Malibu. But those people, if they live there, they can afford to move.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, the question is, who are they selling the shit to?
Yeah.
I always say it's people like Kurt Cameron and that guy who's in all those stupid Pureflix movies. He lives out here in LA, and it trips me out. He's so anti LA. He's so anti everything, but he lives in the real life Sodom and Gomorrah. Crazy shit.
I don't know. It's
Like, you get a lot of Republicans out there who are against everything California stands for, but they like living there.
yeah.
That's why I tripped out when I saw Ray Comfort go to the hood. And that's how I knew he lived in a really good neighborhood because there's the beach and then there's literally Compton, Carson, and Watts. And you could just get in your car and be in the hood. He got on his bike and he was in the hood in 10 minutes. That's how I know he's really, really, really rich.
Ray Comfort has a bike?
He made a bunch of videos where he was on his bike around LA. And he goes, and asks a bunch of really stupid questions to people.
Well, of course, that's what he does.
I tell you, that's great work if you can get it.
Who's next, by the way? Does anybody know?
Well, honey,
Who's next?
What were the
I
stupid
think
questions
Minno's
about?
supposed to pick it up after me.
Okay.
Will, what were these stupid questions about?
It's always the Jesus crap.
Oh,
It's always do you believe, it's always where do you think you're going? And he'll walk up, because we have LA has a large LGBTQIA plus community, and we're obvious here. And we stick out because we can. So he walks up to lesbians. It's like I have a policy of minding my own business. So I wouldn't just run up on people. But in LA, you just don't walk up to people. But he's a frail old man, so people are kind of tripped out.
Yeah.
I would be. That he's brave enough to go in those, there's certain parts that most people wouldn't go to. He goes to them.
I don't know. If my last name was Comfort, I would sure change that. That's just asking for it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I have not had a chance to even relax because as soon as I got home, I jumped on my stream. So I'm going to get going for now, but I will be back.
Okay, yeah.
okay,
Later.
You get yourself some rest.
Mm-hmm. But Anna,
yes,
love
dear.
you, and I will
Why?
keep you guys. No, you say shit like that, and that makes me want to hit you, though. I offer you a kidney, you refuse, so we got to do all this shit.
I didn't refuse.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. It's okay. Go ahead. Diana, will you please at least get my kidney tested for you? We already know we have the same blood type.
Yeah, so go and do it.
Okay. Well,
Thank
fine.
you. Thank you.
All right.
The lady is amazing. She's offering me a kidney. She's beautiful.
That's another thing that I've got to get back to. I was talking with the transplant center, and they sent me another questionnaire that I had to fill out. I never finished that one.
Well, I've got to go back to the transplant center and make sure that I have all the tests they need of me. I know they still want me to do an anal probe. I don't know if there's any
Yeah, we do that for fun. All right. I will catch you guys later.
Bye, Amanda.
Night.
Take care, Amanda.
What kind of anal probe? I mean, there's several different types. And kind of interested.
The second you said that, I thought Roswell Grays, the horniest aliens ever invented.
Oh, is the water boiling? Yeah, my water's boiling. All right.
Oh, now that's a strange anal probe.
Yeah, there you go. And I know I shouldn't be drinking coffee. I know, but I'm still 1.6 kilos heavy.
I've gained weight. I've gained a significant amount of weight. Since COVID, I've gained 45 pounds.
Holy fucking shit! That's more than I gained when I quit smoking.
I work out, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, through COVID, I've actually lost a bit of weight, but that just has to do with that moving back to Minnesota has been a significantly better diet. So even with less activity, I've managed to shed a couple of pounds.
Oh God, I'm old. Don't get old, people. It's not worth it.
Oh, I guess
Ben-
we have B on the side chat. I didn't see him come in.
Huh? What?
It's better to keep having birthdays than to stop having birthdays.
Absolutely. And Commander 401.
Well, I always say that growing old sucks, but it's better than the alternative.
What's the saying? Growing old is mandatory. Oh, I don't want to
Yeah,
chop it.
growing up is optional.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Every once in a while, during the school year, I'm not necessarily a full disciplinarian, but you know, I get up every day. I make my kid do his lessons, and you know, every once in a while, I'm like, let's get in the trunk and let's go womping, or you know, we got to do something crazy to remember why we're here.
Hey, there's a project
have
for
fun.
me. If my family's going to insist on having a traditional funeral, I wonder if anybody's had a coffin made of Lego before.
I guarantee you someone has. I guarantee
That
you.
would be hilarious. That would actually be hilarious.
I was actually looking into coffins because I wanted to get one to sleep in.
I was thinking of going into the secondhand coffin business.
I would very much consider sleeping in a coffin, except, you know, the cat needs to be able to get in and out. He's got to be up against me.
The most amazing
So
thing
you've
I
moved
ever-
around a lot, Purple. What dirt would you put at in the bottom of your casket?
I
The
think
amazing
probably from Como Park.
Okay.
The amazing thing I saw one day, I was on a trip and staying in a Marriott, and pulling into the Marriott were a couple bikers. One of them was pulling a trailer made from a coffin. It was beautiful.
Yep. Well, I have seen woodworking plans for building a coffin that you could use as a coffee table until you need it.
Okay.
I want one to sleep in.
If I had a living room that actually had room for a coffee table, I would have done that.
I'm going for the whole sensory deprivation thing, you know.
Yeah, well, actually, I've thought about that a lot, that maybe with the sensory deprivation tank, I could actually sleep. Because one of my big issues is I sleep on alert. So, you know, noises or movement, I wake up, and that's just from growing up in a household where I couldn't trust people.
Oh, Mage says that there was a Lego coffin made for a 10-year-old.
Okay.
I hope they glued it together.
Oh, fuck. I hate your kids.
Well, that's one of the things that I definitely don't want a traditional burial, you know, embalming the body and that so it doesn't rot. And it's like, I think that we've been slowly degrading the planet that way because we're not letting the stuff return to the natural cycle.
Yeah.
So I definitely like the body farm idea where they just like put the body in a burlap bag and put a sapling on top of it.
Oh,
Damn
right.
Damn right. Here it's called pod something, and it actually sells well.
They're becoming
quite a
more
few.
popular. People are becoming more aware
I
of
know a
what
number of
funerals do.
Republican politicians I'd like to do that too, but I'm told I have to wait till they're dead. So
I jokingly say that because I'm extremely unhealthy. I say just chuck me under a tree and I'll point at a tree.
Well, actually, I've been saying, since the 70s that's how I wanted to be buried, was just a plain pine box with a pine cone on my chest. So that way, that as my body rotted and the seeds sprouted, I would, in every literal sense, become a tree.
no, see that wouldn't work because the seeds can't be buried 6 feet below. They're not
Yeah,
gonna
I
germinate.
know. They can't be that deep down, but
But I would, yeah, I'd like that to be planted underneath a new sequoia. That'd be cool.
okay. Knock, what's a sky burial?
Sky
Sorry.
burial?
Native atheist, rather. What's looking into a sky burial?
I wonder if I owned a lake, could I like have instructions to have an old school Viking funeral?
Probably.
Well,
Send
that
me
was
out.
my first choice, but I don't think they'll allow that anywhere. However, could you get away with it if you had a boat that took you out to international waters before they released the barge?
Well, I'm going to tell you the secret life of cruise ships because I used to go on weekend cruises all the time, and I'll never go again because of COVID. But once they get out in international waters, like people would pull out weed. All of a sudden, the ship would smell like weed. The duty free shop opens up. Carton of cigarettes are $20 all of a sudden. So I'm sure if you went out there, you could do it.
Okay, I've seen this thing about them just leaving a body out in the woods to, be picked at by the scavengers and that. And sometimes they study this. Sometimes they leave cameras there to watch it.
Yeah, and sometimes they put you in prison for murder.
But one of the things that they've seen with this that surprised a lot of people is that deer will scavenge the body. They're not strictly herbivores.
Oh, right.
That sounds like something from a gangster movie.
Okay, Doc wants everybody to smoke him when he's done.
Oh, I'll be back in a minute.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I definitely want my body to go back to the fertilizer. Like I said, it's just, it's part of the natural cycle. Before we had the man-made products, nature recycled everything. It's only when humans started making all sorts of synthetic things that we had stuff that wouldn't decompose.
But give nature long enough and it'll figure out a way. You know about those nylon-eating bacteria, right?
Yep. Well,
I was about to say.
And people were talking about, the solution to the plastics in the ocean being bacteria that would eat the plastics. But the thing that they're not paying attention to with that is that if we release these things into the ocean to eat the plastic out there, they're going to eat the plastic that we don't want eaten as well, so they'll have to come up with a new substitute for that the bacteria won't eat. Otherwise, they're going to be eating parts of the ships.
Yeah.
You can't just release a mass of bacteria and expect it's only going to go where you want it to. It's going to spread. It's going to go anywhere that it can find a food source.
The story of kudzu.
Kudzu?
Yeah, the plant that was imported to the U.S. to be used as ground cover, and this is really going to be a good thing. And pretty soon it took over the entirety of South Carolina.
Uh, well, yeah, that's how we got a lot of invasive species. That
Yeah,
the Asian ladybugs that are basically destroying the native population. Those were brought in intentionally in the 70s to be pest control in California.
yep, yep. There you
They were
go.
supposed to control the aphids, and they wanted to bring in the Asian ones specifically because they were more aggressive than the North American variety. So now we've got ladybugs that bite.
So there's some really. I have some questions from the chat. Do deers eat their own babies? Deers are so dumb. And Doc wonders if the THC would add to the plant in his body. It depends on how much you smoke and if it's ingrained in your in your system. My father smoked so much Captain Black that when he farted, it smelled like smoke.
Oh, jeez.
It was the strangest thing, but all he did was smoke. He didn't. It was one of those. He would just compulsively smoke all day long. So it was his blood type.
Yeah, I have
Okay,
to
Mage.
figure it out.
Mage, one of the things that freaked me out is while I was a pagan, I got the idea that what if your soul can't leave your body until it decomposes? And the reason this freaked me out is I came up with this idea because there was a mummy in the Science Museum of Minnesota. And thinking about what if his spirit has been trapped in there for 5,000 years and he's aware of all the people walking around him.
Hell, that's hell. That goes back to what we were talking about in time traveling. Like, what if you went back in time, you knew everything you knew, and you opened your eyes and you were like 7 years old again? That would be hell. You'd have to relive your whole life.
Yeah, there was a thing about that on Twitter about if you could go back to 6 years old and have all the knowledge you have now. It's like, oh, no, I'm not going through school again.
Yeah, that would
I'm
be.
not going through grammar school and high school again.
Oh yeah, no, that would be awful. That's crazy. I did not know that about deer. You learn something new every day. I think deer are dumb because I've done a lot of driving, and it's not rare for people to hit deer in
Well,
America.
if you have the
I
stomach for it,
I had a deer. Oh man, I was driving on a country road. It was about 25. I was only about 25 miles an hour, maybe 20. A friend of mine was in the car. We were chatting and stuff, and this deer comes out from the side of the road, and I'm going, "Oh fuck! Hang on, we're going to get hit, or we're going to hit this deer." And it veers at the last moment and starts running parallel with the car, right up at the nose. And we were neck and neck for, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards, which is a fair distance. And then suddenly this deer turns right into the car. Why did you do that? And so it landed on the hood and basically just slid off because we were at match speeds, and so it wasn't much of an impact force. And it survived, but it was like, how dumb can you be?
See, I'm telling you, deer are dumb.
Deer are not necessarily known for their astronomical IQs. No.
Oh,
there is a dent in the driver's front fender of my car where a deer hit me. I did not hit the deer. The deer charged and drove its shoulder into the fender of my car.
I had that happen to a friend of mine in Milwaukee, near the downtown area. A deer ran out and ran right into the rear quarter panel of his moving car that he just finished having restored.
Yeah, well, and that's to me too. This happened when I was in Michigan, and I mean, it was a small town, but it was within the city limits. Because out on the rural roads, I'm used to watching for them all the time.
Yeah, you get pretty good at that, don't you?
Well, it was the second deer of a set of like 5.
Oh yeah, they're never alone. There's always if there's one, there's more.
Yeah, so I had swerved to avoid the first one, and I think the second one was trying to jump over the hood and instead just ran into the side.
You know, you just reminded me, deer are dumb, but so are human beings. Today, when I went to the pot shop, I saw someone walking on the freeway. I completely forgot about that. And just to give you context, in Los Angeles, you have to really work to get on the freeway by walking. And they were like deep into the freeway where they had to have been walking for at least like 15 miles.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Why would
drugs
they-
are bad. I guarantee you they went to jail. I guarantee you that person went to jail. We live in the era of where you can hit a button on your car and call, call the cops.
Did
Yeah.
you all hear about that person lighting up the Fox television Christmas tree?
I almost spit my coffee out.
I heard about the tree being on fire. I didn't really hear about, the cause or
Well,
what was the whole thing
ended
behind
up,
it.
It ended up they arrested this guy shortly after, who was a fairly out of touch with reality homeless guy. And
In other words, somebody watching Fox News.
who knows? But they let him go today. They're certain that he's who did it, but because the damage didn't hurt anyone, and it was strictly of like material stuff, it's a misdemeanor, and they said it's not worth the court's time or effort to do anything about this, and so they let the guy go.
That was
Well, yeah, if he's a homeless guy, what are they going to do? Make him pay for the cost?
That's New York, right?
Yeah.
They have very similar laws to California. Oh, wow. I did not know that. I saw the footage. It was pretty epic. I saw the fire.
Well, Fox has already put up another tree. So if any of you are good at pretending you're home,
I dress like I'm homeless.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
because it's so hard to find homeless people in New York.
well, no, but they might not be motivated to start a Christmas tree on fire. In fact, I would bet that most of them aren't.
I don't know. Most of them would do anything to keep warm.
Good point. I think it's also funny that they parked the one Christmas tree, celebratory Christmas tree that was not real. It was a steel frame with pine branches on it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's why the fire looks so epic. I'm like, because Christmas trees do go up, but they don't go up that fast.
Yeah. No. It went up like a fucking bomb.
Well, yeah, if it didn't have any roots, the stuff dries out in no time.
After Christmas here, I can't say without laughing. Last year, the cops warned people. They're like, look, if we catch you setting Christmas trees on fire, we're going to give you like 2 or 3 years. Because apparently when people, after Christmas, you can leave your tree out and the rubbish company will come pick it up. And, there's kids that go around and set the trees on fire.
Oh, geez.
Oh, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Boy, I hope that doesn't catch on.
And well, I live in LA. It's 10 million people just in LA County.
Yeah, but things like that don't happen other places. But if it gets out on the media, then it will.
I feel like that with the smash and grab BS that's going on across the country. Yep. I feel like somebody in Chicago saw someone in LA, and now it's all over.
Yep.
And we have once it gets on social media.
Oh. How do you if you're the cops, or the merchant, how do you deal with that? 100 people coming in the store in a mob, and just ripping off everything they touch?
I saw a TikTok of this is Rite Aid in the ghetto, and people were just walking out with stuff. You can't stop people. If you get enough people, you cannot stop people. You can't. you know.
No. If the cops are just overwhelmed by the numbers, that's
The,
the whole point of the protest, really.
the one flaw I see in the thieves' plan, though, is what they do to help ensure rapid access once they get their shit and get out, is that they park cars in the front of the store to block off all other traffic, and so they can run out to their cars, get in, and get the hell out right away. Well, if the cops are prepared enough and they react, they could easily block them all in.
Yep.
So here, that's feasible because our cops are the equivalent of an army. I'm
Mhm.
still shocked at how many cops we have here. I'm sure they have a contingency plan. Like, I wasn't kidding about bait car yesterday. It started in LA because we had such if you hadn't had your car stolen from you, like it was rare, you know. Until the cops started putting the bait cars out and people stopped stealing cars because they started giving time for car theft. So maybe they'll catch people and give them some. They gave someone 10 years a couple days ago for being part of a fake COVID vaccine ring.
Really?
Yeah, they threw the book at this lady, like, and they put her on every channel just to be like, hey, if you live in LA and you act stupid, because, you know, there's a large illegal population here and fake RDs are not rare.
Now, was this somebody who was like doing the fake cards, or they were actually giving fake injections?
No, fake cards.
Oh, okay.
But 10 years for forgery, that's Fed time.
Well,
because
that's a pretty
Sorry.
serious thing to forge.
I yelped when I saw it on the news. I was like, what? 10 years? They're not joking. So they're saying F around and find out. We will give you 10 years if you make fake vaccine cards.
Oh, yeah, it looks like Diana's faded off on us. But yeah, I'm glad that they're coming down on people about the fake vaccine cards, because that's, you know, a really serious issue.
I agree with you. They're just they're tired of it here because COVID keeps on coming back and coming back and coming back. My neighbor across the street has had it 3 times. My friend has had it 3 times. Like, it's never gonna leave America. I can't say that without laughing because I'm cynical. So it's gonna be America for a while.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, everybody was in such a hurry that they wanted to get things back to normal. And if everyone had taken it seriously and followed the WHO and CDC guidelines, back in the 2019, yeah, we would have had a miserable 6 months, but after a year, we would have been back to normal.
No,
but since they haven't been willing to do that, this is it. We're not going to get back to normal. We've got to get used to it just being like this.
That's not entirely factual because there's a huge percentage of the planet that has not been immunized. Mm-hmm. Like virtually most of the continent of Africa has not been.
Yep. I watch African news. Sorry to interrupt, Jenny, but I'm gonna go run to the loo real quick. I watch a lot of African news, and China just gave like 100 million doses or some outrageous amount. Other countries are giving doses because Africans are not getting inoculated.
Yeah, well, Biden finally made a move to try and get rid of the patents on the vaccines so that other countries could produce them.
Hey, Perp, could you put Diana in the back room for the sake of dignity?
Yeah, I didn't know if she was going to come too here. I'm getting a lot more spammers lately.
Good, we got rid of the old bird. I'm just kidding. Read my name today.
Yeah. I seem to have picked up a lot of spammers lately. They finally found my channel. So I appreciate the people who have been moderating in the side chat. I know Aunt Jur and B had blocked several of them. But I guess they're going to be an ongoing problem from now on. Used to be they just left comments after the streams wrapped up. Now they're actually getting into the side chats.
Oh, that really sucks.
Oh,
Yeah, my throat's really bad. I'm coughing a lot here.
it's just the three of us now.
Yep.
Yeah, I suggested.
Oh, there we are. Diana's moving again.
Oh, okay. Well, then bring her back.
Are we still
Diana,
talking about
I had Purple put you away for dignity's sake.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, I was half asleep.
Yeah.
It's been a hard thing lately. I'm coming home pretty much wiped out, fall right into bed and sleep most of the day, and then when I get up, I'm still sleeping.
Oh, I was just afraid you start drooling or something.
Well, and people were concerned that you're going to hurt your neck there, trying to sleep in your chair without your neck supported.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't want. I don't want to kill my neck.
Unfortunately, there wasn't any way for me to poke you from here.
That's one of the reasons.
4 hours is bad enough, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the session, the neck is in bad shape.
Okay. Do we need to, electrify your chair with a USB port so that if you doze off on stream, I can give you a little jolt?
There it goes. Yeah.
I was thinking that might be a really interesting product to build and invent, a sensory input remote device that when you're having some kind of intimate conversation, for example, with a friend online, you can push various buttons and stimulate certain things.
Don't they have that already?
Yeah. They actually had things that you could they were like vibrators that you could plug into a cell phone.
Yeah. No, I know about that, and they're wonderful, by the way. But I was thinking something more global that touches various parts of the body and can do various things, like maybe a massage kind of action, or a tingly kind of action, or a tickly kind of action.
Well,
that would be interesting.
Or maybe we just need to get Diana one of those trucker hats that when your head tilts down too far, it starts an alarm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought that was a system where it was hooked to your balls, and if you lean too far forward, it grabbed your nuts.
We now know what you do to people on the weekends.
No. It was a golfing tool. I remember my dad being given one. That you're supposed to keep your head down when you're golfing, and if you come up, it gets your attention.
I've seen those. Yes, they do exist.
If it's yanking your balls, it would get your attention. That's for sure.
Nope. I would not volunteer for anything like that ever.
So what happens if you have this and somebody startles you?
Singing soprano.
You get surprised and start screaming.
Yeah.
There's this cat.
That sounds like a torture device.
There's a cat on my thigh.
Yeah, USB dildos. There's all kinds of fancy stuff. Even though when I was a kid, I used to read Future Life magazine, and they thought we would be like the Jetsons or be cyborgs by now and have suits that you could wear and have virtual sex with people.
Yeah, I remember the talk about those suits. What I want is one of those flying car things or whatever that George Jetson had. When you're done with it, instead of parking it, it folds up into a briefcase.
I would wreak so much havoc if I had one of those. That would be awesome.
Orla's saying, did you know there's a robot company looking for people to sign license agreement for their face and voice to use for their robots, basically for eternity? They're offering $200K for it.
They can use my face. No one wants to hear my voice. They can use my face.
No, you have a very nice voice. That would work.
Oh, no, thank you. I try. I have to
See,
yell because I'm.
especially when
Well-
you moderate it like that. You could do a great robot.
I don't know. To use
Well, how
my
about if I
voice-
sign the agreement now? I'm not sure if 200K would be enough.
That's
But
what
if I
was
sign
gonna
the
say that.
agreement now, and then I could have them do the facial feminization surgery, so I wouldn't look the same anyway.
There you are.
Weirdly, there's in one of the, I think it's a Christian Bale Terminator movie. There's a scene in the beginning where this woman walks up to a man in prison in the 60s, and they basically use his body for a robot. And when he comes to, he sees her, but she's a robot because it's been a couple hundred years.
Mage is a great idea. I would love a 3D printed kidney.
Now, does that? Never mind. Well, I was trying to come out with a joke and it didn't happen.
Well, okay.
It's a great
Will-
movie. It's a great movie.
Will, since you live by the ocean, you need to be aware of this, that you have to be careful swimming in the ocean because a baby octopus could swim into your ear and it will eat your brain and it will drive your body around as a meat mecca.
Isn't that what happened to Purple Dan?
Yep.
Who's to say that
That,
the
that's the
octopus hasn't
backstory
taken
for
off?
Purple Dan.
Who's Purple Dan?
Oh, he's a
He was a
geologist.
geology student
Yeah.
that had a YouTube channel, but he's been quiet for about 3 years and I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, he was in South Africa.
He was actually did a couple of guest spots on Paula Gia's channel.
That'd
That's
be cool.
how
I
found him.
need a break. If you want to drive this meat mecca, go right ahead. I need a break.
Well, it's not really just a break, though. If they eat your brain, you don't come back from it very well.
Steal it. It'll pass out from all the stress of my life.
Okay, and,
Oh,
and
that's funny.
this is just to warn you people that I do that. You know, if you've got a character on here, I'm going to at some point create a backstory for you.
I told you, time traveler. Start from there. Come on, I have 2 hearts, stupid clothes, total time travel.
Well, I created Stool's official backstory too. You know, the whole thing with Beauty and the Beast that everybody got turned into furniture. Well, he was in the barn at the time and he ran to get help, but he wasn't far enough away and still got caught in the curse.
So that explains now why it's a 3-legged stool.
Yeah, that's why he's a milking stool, because he was caught in the barn when the curse hit him.
I think Will got that one.
Oh, you always catch me when I'm smoking. You always catch me when I'm smoking or drinking. That's why I make the choking noise. One day it's gonna come out of my coffee's gonna come out of my nose.
Now, Doc, you had your own backstory. I didn't have to make one for you.
Oh, Doc, I miss you. Doc's
Although
awesome.
I do like the idea we were working on in the private Twitter group there. That we had the concept to launch a series around Doc called Night Auditor, where
Love it.
people driving down a Midwest highway late at night check into a hotel, having no idea that there's an urban horror checking them into the rooms.
I'd read it.
Doc,
I'd
how
read
many hotel gifts have you eaten now?
I'd read that one too. I kept some of my grandma's trashy novels from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'll read almost anything.
I figured we could make it an ongoing series, you know, kind of like the classic Twilight Zone, that every guest meets a different doom.
That would be a great show.
Yeah, I think it's a good concept. I think we could sell this to like Netflix.
I never watched the reboot of the Bates Motel. Was it like that?
Oh, I can't imagine that film would be any good at all.
I'm really weird. There are certain remakes where I'm like, I'm not going to watch this. And it came to actually, people praised the show, but I'm biased towards all the old black and whites. That's why I'm like 50-50 on remakes.
I'm sure I really haven't done one for you yet.
Psycho is a classic now. You know, it's
Yep.
Exactly.
I need to come up with one now for proper, a very very dapper Tuxedo Kitty.
And Jamie
I
Lee
mean,
Curtis is
Sammy
not-
is Tuxedo Kitty, and he has his own backstory. That
Like-
he claims the reason he's a tuxedo pattern is that his daddy was a penguin in the army guarding the ice wall.
That's a good one.
I had to do a paper in college in a film class on Psycho, so I learned way too much about the film.
Have you ever seen? Hey,
There's
Doc!
Doc.
Hey, what's up?
Have
Hey,
you ever
Keller.
seen, Rear Window?
Oh
Who?
yeah, excellent film.
I love that film.
James Stewart and what's her name? I forget. The camera he used was an Exacta VX1000.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome. I have multiple security cameras, and my mom walked in my house and was like, she basically said I'm the modern day version of Rear Window. Because you can't like, I could see it right now. I could like look across and see it. So there's nothing that goes on in my neighborhood that I can't see. And I have one in my backyard, but I got tired of watching the cats.
I think that's a wonderful vehicle for telling a story. What you can see out of a window.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Friends used it all the time with the naked guy. It's just you don't have to show anything. You just have to have a good line, and everybody can put in their head, a guy in a window across the street.
When I lived on Hoover Street in LA, it overlooked Sunset Boulevard, and my ex-girlfriend and I would go to the window with binoculars, and we would like try to guess people's lives. And we played a game called Spot the Hooker too.
Yeah, and just keep in mind, if you live in the big city, there are no astronomers who live downtown. They have a telescope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you've got a telescope in a big city, the light pollution is pointless. There's only one thing you can use it for.
So no BS. I bought her a telescope for her birthday. I was like, let me introduce you to the real world. Like we're gonna spy on everybody.
Hey, Minnow.
Interesting today about where I'm.
Minnow, yay!
I just found out that a region of Minnesota just north of Duluth Superior, in the actual Arrowhead, they call part of Minnesota, where it's all pointy by the lake, is on the international register of official dark places on the planet.
Wow.
And you go there and you can basically see everything in the sky just by looking up. That there's no dark sky interference. Okay,
That's
so
why
that was interesting to me.
No, I was about to say that's why I still on the weekends I drive out to the middle of the desert because you could see what part of the Milky Way we're in. It's something to see with no light pollution.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about where I live is that there really isn't very much light pollution at all. So especially like during the colder months, like now, it's super clear skies. You can see exactly where we are in the Milky Way.
The winter skies are so
Oh,
much
that's
better
awesome.
doing this. It's a shame that's so cold.
Yeah.
I live in the suburbs and they can't stop building homes and stadiums.
Yeah,
So
that was
they're ruining our.
it was about the only good thing living in Michigan was that there is no city of any size up there. So yeah, there really wasn't any light pollution. My brother-in-law had a kind of cheap telescope, but for up there it was still pretty good. And like when the meteor showers passed over, you could just lay in the grass and you could just see the meteors coming by with the naked eye, about a half dozen an hour.
Yeah, we don't see them quite that often all year long here, but like definitely during like meteor shower and stuff, we see them like that. Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time.
I guess during.
I was in a dark sky area back when I was a kid. I lived in Milwaukee and city skies, and you could see some stars. Early '60s. It wasn't quite as bad as now, but it was still horrible. And our family went on vacation way to the northern edges of Wisconsin. And the first night we were there, I happened to go outside because I wanted to see. And the dark skies took effect, and I looked up, and there was, for those of you who've never seen it, there are so many stars in the sky. It feels like you're looking up at a ceiling in a room.
Yes.
Imagine,
Horizon to
those of you who have
horizon.
never seen the true sky, what that feels like. You go outside and it feels like you're in a room. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I'll never forget that feeling.
I am so sad now because if I go outside at night, I might see Orion, the very brightest stars of Orion, see 4 or 5 of them if I'm lucky. Where way back when, yeah, you could see the sky that you were describing, Jenny. A firmament, really, when you think about it, it was like a dome. Yeah.
Yeah. You say it that way, I can understand where that mythology developed from.
What Titan's saying here, after Katrina, the lights were out for hundreds of miles. I was hunkered down in a local high school with other survivors. They asked me what that thing was in the sky. I looked up, and it was the Milky Way. They'd never seen it.
Yeah.
That made me think of
if you've lived in an area with the city lights all your life, I can see that.
yeah, that made me think of up north there are First Nation groups that, like, up in Canada and Alaska, where they have, as opposed to in our culture we have shapes in the stars, they have shapes in the spaces between the stars, because that's how full of stars the sky is.
Oh, I never knew that. That's neat. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, for folks who have never seen the dark sky, before you die, make a vacation to an official dark sky area.
Yeah, you've got to. You really do.
See what our planet is really like.
I would like to do that. I really would.
I talk about it all the time when in my compulsive gambling days, I would just pull off the road going to Vegas, and it's amazing what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the Southwest is a major area for dark sky.
Yeah. Well, the other thing in northern Michigan, when I was growing up, we went up there every summer because my grandparents lived up there. So I did have 2 occasions that I did get to see the northern lights up there.
That's something I want to see also.
Yeah.
My brother.
One time was camping
spent
in the
up there.
Porcupine Mountains, which is right on the shore of Lake Superior.
Oh, that's awesome.
Super.
So yeah, it was like just looking to the north, the other side of the lake would be Canada, but you couldn't see the other side. But just like, swirling rainbows in the night sky.
What were you going to say?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
Wasn't that important? No, if it was important, I would have remembered it. No worries.
Keep in mind, though, that when you see the northern lights from anything below the Canadian border, it's pure chance, because the aurora coming that far south is not due to whether or not it's dark skies. It's due to whether or not the coronal event was of enough energy that it would work itself that far south in from space. It's not dark sky issue.
Angier wants to know, how far north do you have to be to see the northern lights?
Well, again, it depends on the coronal mass ejection intensity. I have seen. I have aurora forecasters on my phone and stuff. I check periodically, and I think I've seen them reach as far down as 100 miles or so into Illinois.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah, there are some times that they're more intense than others. There have been times that like the third tier Chicago suburbs might have seen them.
That was in October. Let's see, what year was that? I think that was like 1999 or something like that. There was a month long of Corona mass events that were just that intense that they all made, and it was just glorious for a long time.
Wow.
Okay, Irish Swede says he thinks it was in 2007 that they could be seen as far south as Omaha.
Omaha, Nebraska?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
that would be
Doc, sorry, Doc. Can you see? Do you have a good view of the stars where you live?
It's usually pretty cloudy around here, and in the town I live in, there's like lots of lights and factory and stuff, so it is kind of difficult. But we on rare occasion can see the northern lights down here too. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, one of the neat things about LEDs coming into favor is that they have to redesign all the lighting structures to take the new lighting source, and so the lighting manufacturers are for the most part on board with the concept of dark skies, and they're designing them so that they have downshine instead of upshine for streetlights and things like that. Now it's going to take a long period of a couple of generations and stuff for us to get all dark skies again, but the movement has started for the big outdoor lighting things to stop ruining the sky. Well, maybe someday.
Yeah. Be nice someday.
That's like what they're trying to do in California by getting rid of all gas cars by 2030. It's going to be interesting. Excuse me. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it. And like I said last week, in 2 years, all gas-powered generators, leaf blowers, everything are going to be illegal.
Well, I've noticed like even cultural differences as far as that kind of stuff goes during my lifetime. Like just little things that like we've already started to change our mindset to like not be gasoline powered. Like in our car, the pedal that makes it go. I think to most of us on this panel is probably called a gas pedal, but to kids these days, it's called an accelerator.
True.
And I mean, that's yes, it was always called an accelerator, but it was colloquially always referred to as a gas pedal. And
Yep.
now that connection of it, like it doesn't actually necessarily pump gas into your engine. So that name doesn't apply anymore, and I've heard it being used less and less. And I just think, for instance, like F1 racing, like they have now, like there's like it's an FE racing. So it's like all electric cars. And they do the same circuits and stuff, and it's just like it's amazing to me. And they've talked about that there's actually certain parts of the engines that they're making requirements now that parts of them like go are completely electric powered, and so like by 2025 there's a certain percentage of like even F1 like super fast race cars have to be partly electric, which I think is
one of the conflicts in the racing business about the electric race cars is that audiences complain loudly about missing the engine sound.
I was gonna say, when you said loudly, I was like about it not being loud, right?
That's my whole thing about Harleys.
And they scream, but they don't have the rumble, and people want the rumble.
That's my argument about Harleys. I see electric Harleys all the time, and the running joke is like, that's not a Harley, but it is. But it's a whole new generation of bikes that have come out.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. If you own a Harley and they steal it, you can always find it because it leaves an oil trail.
You're talking about the side of my house. But even here in the land of SUVs, but it's different because people are switching over here. So even I have an electric vehicle, So
you?
Yeah, I own many of vehicles.
Which one is your daily driver? Is the electric one your daily driver?
It depends on where I'm going. Like if my family owns a property, so I'll take the truck if I have to go to work. But like if I'm going to the city, yeah, I take my car into the city.
Ford is redesigning. They made the commitment that all their cars will be electric by such and such year. and they've redesigned a new version of the Mustang, which is more of a crossover type vehicle, but it's all electric, and they're claiming 500-mile range.
That's
Really?
neat. That's neat.
That would be moo.
You know what? On 1 tank of gas, I can make it from my house to Vegas. You know. So
Yeah. Well, I think
one
that's
of those
been the
things.
biggest thing holding the electric cars back is not having the range for doing interstate trips.
Yeah. Well, and that's yeah, because a lot of what I do, sometimes for work and stuff, I have to travel a lot. And then when I was living out of state and stuff, every time I had to come back, it was hundreds of miles.
Yep. Well, that's for me all my life. It's been kind of a regular thing of 300 to 400-mile trips in a little triangle between Minneapolis, Chicago, and the Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
Well, and it'll be like, so the one trip that I used to have to do, actually, they did put in a charging station on the way, which would have been cool, except for the fact that, like, okay, but then, like, however many hour trip is added on to by however many hours
Right.
it takes to freaking charge.
Yeah, how
it.
long do you have to sit there and just kill time while the car charges?
Well,
Now,
that's-
I've heard
that's
things
coming
about
down
newer
to-
ones. Is that what you were saying, Jenny? Sorry.
I was just going to say that's coming down very rapidly. The lithium technology and the charger technology is advancing at a mutual pace, and they've gotten some of the automotive charge times down to an hour for a full tank.
Yeah. Well,
And
Junie the
accessibility,
Apostate-
too.
Junie the Apostate did drive up here to Minnesota from Chicago. She drove up here to meet Jenny and I a few months back.
Yeah, but you remember seeing how big that extension cord was, don't you?
Yeah. Well, she did say that there were a couple of points on the trip that, she stopped someplace that they could plug it in and, that they did some local activity for an hour or two, letting it charge up along the way.
And if you're into street racing, folks, of course you should not be, because that's just foolish. But if you are and you're exchanging pink flips for the winner, the car title, do not ever race a Tesla. You will lose. They 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds.
See, now you have me wondering, like, are they still going to have NASCAR in California with all the laws? Because I know, they're
you
not
think
going to.
NASCAR's going to go electric? I could see it.
NASCAR is actively working with manufacturers and fuel makers to start using different alternative fuels. They've been working on alcohol driven cars, which is much less polluting than gasoline, and propane and different alternative energy sources. So I would fully expect that as electric becomes more common, that NASCAR will become electric too.
The only reason I say that is because
give up $1 billion sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And here, like, I take my son to NASCAR events. I still go. I've been going since I was a child, And LA is a huge market, so I know they're not just going to give it up over gas.
But it is going to be different. I have a lot of hours working at racetracks and working on pit crews and being the person. This is old style racing, not modern shit, where you're actually leaning out over the wall with a chalkboard to show your guy their lap and position and stuff.
Heck
And
yeah.
there is nothing that is like the roar of half a dozen V8 cars screaming past you at 180 miles an hour. Unmuffled vehicles. It's just it eats you on the inside. It's just
I can see them like starting a new racing league for electric cars, but I don't think NASCAR will ever go away. I think that they'll keep it around.
You think they'll keep it the same?
No, it will not.
No, they're actually way more progressive. Like Stannis and Jack said it, they're way more progressive than their fans are. It's true.
Yes,
It's true.
absolutely.
So
I'm sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. My apologies, chat.
They'll totally comply, and it's not even about complying. It's about as someone who owns a business, I know about being there's certain markets you have to appeal to. So they're not going to give up the LA area.
Well, NASCAR did take an awful lot of flack, and finally had to get them to remove all the Confederate flags.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, NASCAR fans were upset with
NASCAR did
black.
take an awful lot of flack, and finally had to get them to remove all the Confederate
Little
flags.
echo
Okay,
still.
Larry, you brought an echo with you.
Lawrence,
Hi,
hello.
everybody. I managed to find a clean shirt, but I don't have any pants, so don't make me get up.
Okay,
He'll figure
Larry,
out the echo in a second.
do you have YouTube open in another window?
Oh, it's gone.
That was me. I still had the stream open in the other window. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
you're good now.
I'm not a professional streamer. I have no idea what's going on.
It's okay.
No
Everybody
worries.
was a newbie at some point.
I have been doing this for a while now, and I still do that shit. Like, I did a stream yesterday where I fucking forgot to turn on my mic for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
I
still
used
done
to-
it occasionally when I've been on with the shills. When it's not my own channel, I'm not necessarily thinking about it.
I'm coming up on a year, and I'm shocked when I don't make a mistake. So here
I
we
used
go.
to
I
make
tell my
YouTube
audience-
videos, so I used to have a YouTube channel. So it amazes me how inept I am with technology still.
Same.
Well, I tell my audience it would not be a Lavender Lady production without technical difficulties. I mean, I'm legendary, okay? I admit it.
Yeah, to be fair, you are, Diana.
Yeah.
I love you.
Something has to go wrong every time I go on here.
You know, though, I
Hey.
try to.
Unlike Junk Shop, you don't have an entry in the Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay, I do say junk shopping in real life. I do. That is something that has stuck and weaved its way into my vocabulary.
Oh.
It's
I'm still
become
here on the
popular.
phone.
Yep.
So-
Junk shopping has caught on across YouTube because I've run into people who were not even aware of junk shop as a person who are using the term.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So in that context, what does junk shopping mean? I don't know anybody.
Roboting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Junk Shop Library has been notorious for having problems with their internet connection, just kind of catching and roboting, and like it'll stop for a minute and then jump to catch up with the stream.
Oh, okay.
Junk Shop is
So-
very moo. And Julie is very moo.
Yeah, they're an adorable couple.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. I miss them not being on during the day because I'm a total soccer mom. So, you know, those are my prime hours of being on the phone.
That's
Well,
what
I
happens.
still have this weird thing, and it only happens with Julie. But whenever she's on stream and she lights up a cigarette, I can smell it. I don't know why it only happens with her and not when anyone else is smoking.
That's funny. Well, it's probably because she's the only one who smokes menthols or whatever brand it is.
Oof. Oof.
Oh, do they even sell those anymore?
They definitely do where I live, but
Yeah,
like
where
I
I
live
live.
in the sticks where there's like no cigarette tax also, so you know.
Oh, wow. They're $12 here in California.
I know, yeah, they're like $5 here.
I think you just gave away what state you live in.
I was.
I think there's enough people who could have like figured it out if they put all the clues together. I just like don't lay out all the clues at once.
Oh.
But yeah, the first time I went out of state as a smoker and bought cigarettes, I distinctly remember the guy behind the counter told me the total. I set down a $5 bill. He looked at it. He looked back at me and repeated the total, and I was like, "Huh?" Because
Yeah.
that's how much I was used to paying for cigarettes. That
When I was living in New
the
York, they had
2000s.
hit $10 a pack in like 2013.
I was sitting here.
That's I used to drive down to the Indian reservation to get them for my fiance.
I was sitting here
Sorry.
just a couple days ago, and I realized that a carton of cigarettes is $100 fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I started smoking, they were like $10.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
the closing shift manager for a Walgreens for a while, and the story of my life for the longest time was they kept doing an incremental increase on tax on tobacco here, And
Mhm.
so, like, just the tax on a pack of cigarettes is like $4. And so,
Good.
and so, like, people would get mad at us. We're like, why are you always
Yep.
raising your prices? And I'm like, we didn't.
Vice taxes are the easiest to pass. Cigarettes and alcohol they can tax because nobody's going to defend it. Nobody's going to say that they shouldn't tax cigarettes and alcohol because nobody wants to admit they use them.
No, I
yeah,
was an
not
admitted
true.
user, and I was like, yes, please fucking tax the shit out of this. Like,
Yeah,
The
but it's
state of
a tax that they can always pass.
The state of Wisconsin tries almost every biennium to raise the price or the tax on beer, and it is beaten back by the Wisconsin Tavern League, owners Tavern League, or whatever its official name is. And as a result, the tax on beer in the state of Wisconsin has not gone up in like decades. Because it's a beer state. It's where beer used to be on every corner.
Yeah, it's what Milwaukee is famous for.
Yeah.
it's midnight, so it's the opposite of my usual viewers. I don't feel like I'm doxing myself and saying this Omarosa is here, but I'm not too worried about it. I live like in the same state as Anheuser-Busch used to be, so yeah, like we have no fucking beer taxes.
Oh, that African beer maker.
Oh no, Omarosa is one of my mods.
No.
I've been casually dropping the name of the city that I live in, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But then again,
yeah, I mean, if
nobody knows who I am, so it doesn't matter.
Tell where the nearest city to me, but
I've mentioned the city I live in some of my streams. I'm not that worried about it.
I dox myself all the time. There are 10 million people just in my county. Come and find me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's been part of my thing that it'll
That's
be
how I
more
feel
of
about
an
you.
issue.
I'll tell you what city I live close to, whatever.
Yeah.
It might be more of an issue after I get my name changed. But right now, if you know the city I live in and my full legal name, good luck anyway.
Yeah.
I Googled it and I got 600 results, none of which referred to me.
I won't tell you
Nice.
It's just such a generic name, it won't get you anything.
Here's the thing. I am a white person in a Midwestern state, and my last name is Smith. Try.
I live in Iowa. You can know exactly where I am, and I'd be perfectly fine because nobody wants to come here.
Hotels in Iowa.
I have a VPN and a stage name that is on top of my legal name. So when people think that they quote unquote found me, it's usually just my stage name that they found, which is pretty fun.
Well, I live in Minnesota and my last name is basically the Swedish equivalent of Smith.
Nice.
Yeah.
I won't tell you where I live, but it's near East St. Louis. That's a joke. Never mind. Wasn't that funny? East St. Louis, St. Louis?
I just have Meet Me in
I
St. Louis
always
stuck
think
in
of
my
them
head
as
now.
two separate cities. Sorry.
Well, yeah, they're in different states. Yeah.
Well, plus there's that big sign when you go across the bridge. It's like warning. You know which one I'm talking about with the flashing lights and everything. It doesn't actually say warning, but it may as well.
No, I don't know. I haven't been to St. Louis in over 15 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like you are now entering East St. Louis.
Oh, that's funny. I have
Yeah,
kind
Jay, I
of.
know that feeling.
I took some friends to St. Louis for this conference that we used to go to every year in March. It was just a wonderful time. And this year that we went, when we entered St. Louis, I think it was on 55, virtually every car we saw that had a Missouri plate had a right front fender that was crumpled. And so we figured that was the greeting. that if they saw you were from out of state, they'd ram you with their right front fender to say hello.
No, but
yeah. That is so. What happens is the St. Louis drivers are very, very fast drivers, but they're also like polite drivers. But they're polite in that, like, if you put your blinker on to get out, they will give you exactly the amount of space that you need for like exactly 10 seconds. And if you go over 10 seconds or like demand more fucking space, then they're just gonna fucking take it from you and like fuck you, even if you already started pulling out in that lane.
But Jags mentioned
But they're
something
lovely
in the,
people. Lovely people.
something in the comments that there were like 2 people or so in the country with his name. I was in that position. There were exactly 2 people in the United States with the name Edward Zavartke. The other one was the male slimy bastard. It was beautiful.
I checked my name
And
and
yes,
there's only
I named myself. I do it all the time.
Okay, Kelly, we thank you for the donation. I can only see that the
thank
total
you.
increased. I can't see who made the donation, actually.
Beck didn't actually give me
Thank
the
you,
password for
dear.
that part of it yet. Like he linked the email to it, but he didn't actually give me the pass. But
Yep. Yeah, not a problem.
but yes, I see. Actually, it went up. Ooh, I need to raise it by $10 on my thingy.
Yeah, and this is going to be, an ongoing thing. It's probably going to be a couple of months that this is going to have to keep going for, to raise enough money to cover the travel expenses for all the people who are going to be involved.
Now, is Diana going to get to keep any leftover?
No, wait a minute. I was just about to say, I said on the other stream, the one before this, I don't know if this is going to be possible, but what I would like to see, I would like to see it happen that once this is all done for me, it continue and we can extend a hand to other people who need this sort of thing.
That's a really good idea.
Would we be able to manage something like that? I know the logistics would be terrible.
I think it's just a matter of, deciding that who's in control of the account would be.
I was going to suggest that Diana be allowed to keep whatever's left over, and that we shoot for $100,000.
How many coffees is that? Hold on.
Yeah.
That would be 20,000 coffees, right?
Yeah, so that's what Indianapolis drinks in a day. So
yeah,
that'll be all right.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody donating. We don't want anybody to give until it hurts. If you're struggling yourself, don't feel that you're obligated to donate.
You
I want my dollar back.
If you're going to dig into your grocery budget, then screw it. No, don't do that.
Yeah, and I should say again that, last time I took the trip to help Diana when she was in the hospital, that I took that, some people had offered to help pay things. I didn't really expect much of it. I was really surprised that, enough people stepped up to not only completely cover my trip expenses, but to also cover the next car repair that came up for me after that.
There were a couple people that really stepped up for you, honey, and that's
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Altogether, people had contributed over $600 when I made that trip.
Wow.
Well, it's a good thing too, because it wasn't cheap. Crossing Ohio, just paying the tollway was $60.
Yeah.
Yikes, it's gone up.
Wow.
God, remember when tolls were a quarter?
Well, and that was just Ohio, but I had tollways in 4 states.
I'm from the West Coast. America
that,
should be free. Sorry, Jenny. Go ahead.
I just have to say that I think I hate tolls. Tolls just piss me off to no end. Unless Wisconsin builds one at the Illinois border, then that would be fair. But the technology is old now, so I'm not talking current excitement. But when it first happened, I was just so tickled and impressed by the technology where you don't have to stop, that you can just drive through with your transponder and it takes care of it in an instant. It was just so cool.
So I would have been in Chicago in 2017.
Being from the Southwest,
I was doing it just after the first wave of COVID was settling down. So they really didn't want to open the toll booths. And they were doing things like they just had cameras taking pictures of your license plates because there was no one to man the booths.
That's a great comment.
Yeah,
I think it's crazy that we have to pay for the roads that we have to pay tolls in the first place. Like on the West Coast, you can go anywhere. I could drive from here to Seattle if I have money for gas, you know.
Well, the whole I-90 tollway system that goes from Chicago all the way out to the East Coast. You know, people, this is what you get when they start privatizing things.
Oh yeah.
You know, this is what you get when you're not willing to pay taxes for the government to have services.
Yeah, you pay through the mouth every time then, from there on.
I couldn't imagine having to pay to go into Oregon, or like I go to Nevada all the time. I have family in Arizona. I couldn't imagine having to pay to do that as far as a toll road.
Yeah, and I've heard libertarians say this, that it should all be privatized and you should just pay tolls for all the roads. And it's like, you have no fucking idea how expensive that would get for the average person.
Yeah.
You guys
If you
live in
had to
big
pay a
city.
toll for every street you used,
Yeah.
You guys in the big city, you know, you have your fire department, and they just get paid through your property taxes and things. Out here in the rural climes, many communities do not have that structure, and you have to pay a fire fee monthly, or they will stand there and watch your house burn down. And I mean, literally stand there and watch your house burn down.
So
Yeah.
they check to see if you paid or not. How does that
Yep.
even work?
Okay, but like, what happens if their house burns down and catches somebody else's house on fire that did pay the tax?
Well,
That's
then
why they're standing
They
there.
would put that fire out, but not
Okay,
those
well, that's-
who didn't pay.
That's super screwed up.
That's
Well, yeah,
bureaucracy.
yeah.
that was actually the system that it was in colonial times.
So
And
what-
Ben Franklin is actually credited with starting one of the first municipal fire departments because he thought that was fucking bullshit.
well, that's privatization for you folks.
Well,
Oh,
we're
and-
dealing.
We don't want to pay those taxes. You know,
Where I am, there's been a huge reduction in just the amount of government staff for basically everything. So like we've been trying to get a new social security card for my husband for the last 3 months because there is no one at the social security office.
Right.
We've literally
right.
spent entire days sitting next to each other on the couch, calling the social security office, waiting for it eventually to hang up on us, and then calling them again, trying to get somebody to talk to, because their automated system where you do everything on the computer didn't register this address as existing. So he could not apply for a new card to be sent here because it didn't acknowledge that this house exists.
Wow.
And so, but they have like completely gutted, like they took advantage, I think, of the pandemic to completely gut the payroll for a bunch of these government agencies because we haven't been able to get a hold of anybody anywhere. We eventually had to go to like a neighboring county and ask them if they could process his application because we just physically could not get a hold of anybody. And if you go to the building in person, you can't get in.
wow.
That's
I
crazy.
have that problem with a couple of government sites, you know, because I moved just before the first lockdown. So during the COVID, when they weren't used to doing things online, and a couple of government sites, I couldn't get anything done because when they autofill, they have you enter the zip code, and it was entering the wrong city.
Mm-hmm.
It had the wrong city connected with my zip code because apparently the zip code kind of overlaps the two cities, and it wouldn't let me correct it.
I have tried to put on that Social Security automated system, you know, log in, create an account thing on their system, and I get through with the entire registration process, which is a lot of forms to fill out online. And when I punch submit, it says, "Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't go through. We don't have any record of this person existing." Well, you know, where am I getting these checks from? You guys.
Yeah, and what Jinzu said here, you know, I was ticketed for driving in the HOV lane a year ago, come to find out there was no way I was at fault because at the time the picture was taken, I was 40 miles away. And that kind of stuff happens a lot because, again, with the
Put that back up.
Yeah, with the cameras and the computers, you know, that it's trying to take a picture of the license plate when you're going 50 miles an hour. And then it's a computer trying to decide, okay, is that letter on the license plate an I or an L?
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt for a moment? Jen, is that a legitimate picture on your avatar, or is that Photoshop?
The four-eyed goat?
Yeah.
I've seen that before. I think that's an artist rendering.
Yeah, I was asking about that, and I was vaguely thinking that it was a reference to a Norse mythology thing, but I wasn't really clear on it.
It reminds me of the Simpsons fish.
Okay, so you have to explain the four-eyed goat.
It totally reminds me of the Simpsons fish, but I'm old.
I think
I will say this for anyone who has to deal with the tollways. You know, if you're driving out to see Diane or that, it probably would pay if you can plan ahead of time to get one of their iPass things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to pay something like $25 up front for those, but if you preload it with money, then the tolls are like 30% cheaper.
Oh, even more than that. It's absolutely worth getting an iPass. I have an iPass, and I rarely go into Illinois, but I know that when I do, because money stays in your account forever. It just makes such a huge difference.
Okay, one of the problems with it is Illinois is on a different system.
iPass is the most common in the country. There's lots of places that take it.
But is Illinois on the same iPass now? Because the information I had was that the one that worked through Ohio and Indiana did not work in Illinois.
Okay, I don't know specifically for that, but I know that iPass is very widely accepted.
Okay.
Jinju, I love your. I absolutely love your picture.
Isn't it amazing how cute some of the avatars are today that can do the cartoon thing? People are just adorable when they're turned into cartoons.
I've seen those. I see a lot of those on Facebook. A lot of those.
Okay, Jinzu says it's Greek mythology. The tag on Discord is Death of the Satyrs.
Yeah. I don't use avatars a whole lot, but I did get into using the avatars on Facebook because they just have a library of like 100 different fucking stickers you can use that has your avatar model doing random shit. And it was just the funniest thing, just pop into everybody's fucking thread and be like, just post random fucking stickers.
I had this one turf let loose on me, and started making all kinds of physical appearance comment, and it was all based on my avatar. And, well, what do you have to say for that? And I just had to respond, "It's a cartoon." Oh God!
I always find it interesting the assumptions that people make about people. We're all overinflated versions of ourselves on the internet. So I don't.
That's a great line.
I stole it from Junk Shop.
Oh, love it.
So credit to Junk Shop. I don't look like it, but I am listening. But it's true. We all are overinflated versions of ourselves. So I try not to make assumptions about other people because I know they live lives just like I do. You have ups and downs. Not every day's a winner,
I'm a little bit more flamboyant online, I think, than I am in person, just because I'm really more of an introvert. But really, for the most part, I'm very, very similar to my online persona. It's really funny because sometimes, people assume a lot of the time that, whatever your avatar picture is on Twitter is something fake, because that's just what most people do. But no, that's just my face. I actually look like that.
Well, I use the shot I do. I think I'm absolutely stunning in it. I would actually date myself and fuck me till I'm dead. It's so hot
Well,
looking.
don't do that.
But I freely admit that it is a glam shot. That it's not really what I look like.
Because if you
yeah,
do that, then you don't get the cuddling afterwards.
Pardon?
I said if you do that, then you don't get the cuddling afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, Junie the Apostate did my current avatar. You know, and I said that I wish I could look that cute. That maybe if I had transitioned in my 20s, I could look something like that, but not now.
Yeah, you kids who transition early, I am so envious of you because you get the good results from the HRT and everything.
Do you know what's bullshit though? I have been told by people that I am a late transitioner.
I thought you're not even 30.
I started testosterone when I was 24, and I've had people tell me in all sincerity that I am a late transitioner.
Is this in person or online? Is it online?
Online.
Yeah, I think it's also a younger generation saying that, you know, because it's more accepting. To my generation, people are doing it now because people are more accepting now.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I tell you, that's amazing when you say late transition. For those of you who don't know, I began my medical transition when I was 52. It took me a little while. Oh.
I love it on Twitter when you get into this thread of tweets where everybody's complaining about how old they are and oh god, I'm so old. I'm 32. You know, it's not old. Just wait.
You know, I joke about it.
Man. I have wrinkles that are older than you.
I say that about my jackets. When my son will say something, I'm like, kid, I have jackets older than you. Like, settle down. Settle down.
I love this. My new camera is labeled in Mandarin. I love it.
I think what happens is that, you know, you get older and either you become cynical or nostalgic. I'm both at the same time.
In my
I actually had to buy a new jean jacket this year because the one that I have literally been wearing since high school, you know, finally has more holes than it has threads.
That's what's happening to the Levi's that was my dad's jacket. It's just slowly starting to disintegrate.
No, actually, I have to correct that. I do still have the one I've worn since high school. I use that as my work jacket. The one that was my everyday jacket, I've only been wearing since '94.
I used to have this jean jacket that I was just absolutely in love with it. It was kind of like the Ike style, just barely down to your waist, and it had this beautiful art embossed, you know, actually conventionally embossed on the back. And then I got in a battery explosion with it, and
so that's an experience.
Within a week, it was gone.
That sucks.
That's an experience.
I get
really
the better
foreign
one because
to me.
mine survived a battery explosion. I had my uncle blow up a truck battery in my face.
Oh, that's the worst.
Ooh.
It's a damn good thing I wear glasses.
I was cleaning a
didn't own
terminal.
single thing. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't own a single thing that my parents gave me growing up. I have nothing from the house I grew up in. I had like not a damn thing. And so the idea of having a shirt that would be that, or a piece of clothing like that, you know, a nostalgic piece of memory like that, that's cool but foreign.
I still have my junior high gym shirt, and I put it on to see how much weight I've gained in the past like 20 years.
Well,
It's been a while.
part of the thing for me is that over 40 years, my style literally did not change. Denim is a classic.
Oh, that's the whole godless sewing thing. I like people that I've known my entire life. When I see them around town, they're like, "Really? You're still wearing patches?" They're like, "We're old now. We are legitimately old now."
Yeah, for 40 years, my entire wardrobe consisted of jeans, various colored t-shirts, and a denim jacket.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Or Will, I have this friend back home who, Paul Reichowitz, who's into patches. I've mentioned this guy before to you. He's got a jeans jacket and he puts all his patches on when he goes on vacation or some particular tourist site or something like that, or convention or whatever is a meaningful patch to him.
That's awesome.
The thing is absolutely covered. Every square centimeter is a patch. You can see little bits of the color of the jacket through, but he's got to start putting patches on top of patches now. So
That's awesome.
He's in his 60s, so don't worry about it.
Oh, it's artwork.
I was doing that to my car years ago. I was covering every square inch of it with bumper stickers because the paint job was going to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was
the
fun.
bumper sticker can hold on a fender.
I still trip out how my Baphomet patch almost got me beat up at the Burbank airport trying to pick up my mom. People were legitimately
Are you
scared.
serious?
Yes,
Oh my God.
people are legitimately scared of Baphomet, and like,
what is that?
It's the traditional Satan. Oh, let me go get it. Give me one quick second. I gotta go run to the
goat-headed.
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
And I have a it was actually an Alan Jackson concert denim jacket, and I covered Alan Jackson with Baphomet. And I went to go pick up my mom, and I walk where everyone's getting their bags. Every single person turned and looked at me. It was awkward. I noticed when you do that to people, they notice. I noticed, And then when I went to pick up my mom, the security guard walked up to my mom and was like, "Do you know him? Do you know this guy?" So Baphomet scared the hell out of an entire airport.
I was a teenage edgelord, and so
What's the
so the gist of it is doing things on purpose to be shocking because you're a little shit.
Okay, I do that.
And so I grew up in a very religious family, and my family drifted away from Mormonism over the years, and so like I got to experience other churches and stuff, but briefly I was in a Baptist church, which scared the ever-living shit out of me.
Oh, wow.
But they had a Bible camp, and we had to go to this Bible camp because Mom didn't want us in the house. And so we got T-shirts from the Bible camp, and I turned mine inside out, and I took T-shirt paint and painted a giant pentagram on it. 'Cause, as one does. Mom didn't like that.
I grew up Catholic. You would have got they'd put you in therapy. Where I'm from, they try to lock you up.
My mom would have been one of those people that gets like a wooden paddle and then burn etches the word therapy into it, and that would be therapy.
I was born Catholic, and my father literally had a paddle he had carved out of a 2x6 hanging in the kitchen.
My parents tortured me too. I was raised Catholic as well.
If being hit regularly made you a good person, I would be a good person.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the honest truth. Like I don't know. It toughened me up, but I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Like my brother and I, we would settle disputes when I was younger with fist fights. People don't do that in real life, But in the mid 80s, that was an acceptable way of raising children,
Mm-hmm.
Now in California, you would go. I always tell my mom that by today's standards, she would be in federal prison.
Yeah.
I think times have changed.
No,
Well,
I'm wondering.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
When you talk about getting hit as a kid, were you in the situation where you would get hit, and then if you cried, you would get hit for crying?
Yes.
Oh
with my parents, there was it was not a discipline thing. It was an I'm angry at you and you're gonna be sorry that you made me angry thing.
Yeah.
And being forced to confront the fact that they were doing something shitty made it worse. So it was this weird thing where like they wanted you to be in enough pain that they knew that they hurt you, but they didn't want you to be in so much pain that they thought it would make them look bad to their friends later.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That was
You
my
know?
parents' thing too. Like, we knew that if we made our parents look stupid, you were gonna get killed at home. You were gonna
Yep.
get absolutely annihilated. So when we were in public, we were the most polite, well-spoken, yes ma'am, no sir kind of kids, because we knew there were consequences and repercussions.
Yep. My mom was willing to do anything to look like a good parent in front of her friends, except actually be one.
Okay.
I feel like that,
Yep.
honestly, I feel like that's a kind of a generational thing because I see more parents in their kids' lives nowadays.
Mhm.
Well,
And my parents were like that. And they gave a shit and they were still like that.
I was the youngest in a house that there were always at least a dozen kids running around.
Oh.
So I got a really screwed up upbringing because generally it was whoever got grabbed first got hit, not necessarily who had anything to do with what went wrong.
Yeah.
So I grew up with
Yep.
there being no connection between my
Yep.
actions and the consequences because I got away with shit I did and I got punished for shit I had nothing to do with. I didn't even know why I was getting smacked.
Oh,
We would
I
have
got,
that
I
happen
got
too.
nailed
Is
for what my brothers did almost every time that they did something. I got blamed.
Yep.
It pissed me off so much because they wouldn't believe me when I said, no, I didn't do that. John or Gary did this, and this is exactly how it happened, and they still wouldn't believe me.
I was part of a sibling group of 7, and so we had kind of a similar thing happened. It was just whoever happened to be in the way when dad was mad or mom was mad.
Hey, Larry, can I ask you something?
Sure.
You were Mormon, right?
Me personally, no, not really.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, your family.
I
But
asked.
yeah, a lot of my family was Mormon when I was growing up.
I ask a lot of people this who were raised in a Mormon household. Do you think it's a cult?
Oh God, yes. It's very, very abusive in the way that it's structured, in that you are not allowed to have a life within the family, within the community, unless you adhere to not just the doctrine, but to the edict of the patriarch.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then you do not get to have a life. And what saved us is that we're not in an area where there were a lot of other Mormons. So there wasn't like a central tabernacle in the same way that there are like out in Utah in the desert, where like the whole city is Mormon. And if you're not Mormon, you're fucked.
Stagerson, are you also Mormon or come from a Mormon background?
I actually live in a Mormon town, and even as an outsider growing up, I saw that. And in my neighborhood, because I live in a Mormon neighborhood, all the people who have repeatedly have COVID are Mormon because they refuse to get the vaccine.
I think any church that has shunning as part of their doctrine is a cult. Because if they are controlling who you can have for friends, that is a huge red flag of a cult.
Their church thinks, don't even get me started. I'm gonna be nice. I've been nice this entire stream. I'm gonna be nice. Mormons, their religion is very interesting. They exclude everybody that's not them.
I learned a whole hell of a lot when I came to this community, with the ex-Mormons running around. And the combination of situations, for example, a few Mormons who are ace, I came to be familiar with, and I heard about the hell they go through.
Yeah.
Especially the women.
So, what Mormonism preaches about like LGBT stuff is that you're not, well, and this is now because it's reformed a tiny bit over the years, is that you're not inherently a bad person or a sinner if you have homosexual attraction or something like that. It's every person is given a test to prove their faith to God, and your test is having those homosexual urges, but being compelled by the church and your belief not to act on them.
Oh, another religion I failed in. Another religion. Damn it. Yeah. I can't be a Muslim. I can't be a Mormon.
That's as compassionate as it has become. Because it used to be much worse.
I had a cousin who last time I heard before current history, had converted to Mormonism. He lives out in Vegas. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew him well enough to go, oh my God, Tom, how could you, or Steve, how can you do that? It's just, it's just shocking. I mean, I know the family you come from. We're sick, and it was just I kind of shunned him. I didn't want to really deal with him and all this kind of stuff. And then it turns out that he walked away from it after about 1.5 years, 2 years. And I wasn't aware of that. And I'm so glad he came to his senses.
I think people go to extreme religions for a wide variety of reasons. I think in the case of my parents, the reason that they stayed in it as so long as they did is because, like, I don't mean this in like like my parents were abusive, but I'm very distanced from that now. But I feel like my parents struggled to experience empathy, but they still had an idea that they wanted to be good people. And to them, following the doctrine of a strict religion is what made them good people.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So at least that's what I observed from my parents, because I gathered over time that my mother didn't really care about the individual doctrines and edicts of the church. She just followed it because she believed that, being in good standing with the church was necessary for her to be a good person, citizen, etc.
Okay, I can understand
That's what
that.
bothers me most about religion in terms of a more global influence on society, is that people who are the most religious seem the most incapable of creating their own value system within themselves, that they're completely dependent on this external force to keep them good, unquote.
That's why they cling. That's why they cling to it. I just for shits and giggles, I was looking up someone that I've known my entire life who is from this town. They're Mormon and they moved to Utah. I was like, how many kids does he have? He's 42 years old and he has 9 kids.
Jesus Christ.
So I know that I understand vaguely that outside of the city, cost of living isn't as much, but I don't understand how anybody, unless you had a badass job, could afford to pay for 9 kids. It's like $20,000 a year to raise a kid properly.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a real stat. I use that stat all the time.
I was just like, how?
I have one kid. I couldn't imagine that. I know why my parents were angry all the time. I was 9 of 9. I was the last. But there was my oldest brother is 62, about to be 63 years old this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge gap in ages. I was literally like, oops, we're having a baby.
Yeah. Well, I was the youngest of 9. And, even though there's not that much spacing between us individually, that's still 15 years between me and my oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
There were 7 of us. My oldest brother is 29, and my youngest brother is 4.
There was only 3 and 9, and I was the neglected, emotionally abused middle child.
Yep.
I heard about when I was a kid, and I kind of went, well, what can that possibly have to do with anything? And then it turns out it has a lot to do with everything.
Yeah, middle child syndrome is a real thing.
Oh, my sister hates me. She wasn't the middle child, but she thought she was going to be the last, and then it's like, oops.
Yep.
You have a little brother now.
I grew up in a crowded house, but I grew up neglected. Everyone always assumed somebody was watching me, so no one actually was.
Yep.
Because, well before I was born, my mother was just tired of having kids and just kind of figured she'd leave it to the older siblings.
Speaking of big families, did anybody catch the news today about
no
America's favorite big families, the Dugars?
Know what they do.
I flipped past the story.
Josh Dugar, one of the former executive directors of a branch of Focus on Families, was busted for child pornography.
Yep. To the surprise of nobody who was paying attention.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Josh.
when.
Is Josh the one that was feeling up his sisters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Scumbag. It's
Yeah.
kind of like when they found that preacher who went up against Richard Dawkins. What was his name? Ted Haggard? I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
He was smoking meth with his gay prostitute, which came out to be his boyfriend,
Yeah.
which they said was a prostitute. Really, they were dating. They liked just smoking meth together. It's always the most pious to have nothing but bodies under their porch.
And in Dugar's case, it's pedophilia, and so I'm absolutely against it. But a guy like Haggard, if you want to fuck around with some adult male, you just go right ahead. I don't care.
That's
But
why
don't preach against everybody else doing it.
That's why I bring it up. And when people were shaming Lindsey Graham, I'm like, remember what neighborhood you're in. Like Lindsey Graham is super closeted. So are a lot of people. Still an a-hole.
Yeah.
Trash him for something else.
I don't think nobody has to be out of the closet if they're not comfortable being out of the closet, but you could have the basic decency to not say that everybody else who is exactly like you should, go to hell and not have rights.
Internalized homophobia is real and dangerous. The same thing with race, with anything. If you hate who you are, you're going to take it out on other people, especially those who are like you.
Yeah.
God, that's so true. And I feel so guilty for the crap I used to say, think, and do before I came out and got control of myself.
I've been out a long time, so I'm a little bit more like, I try not to be gatekeepy and judgy, but I understand, but it's just there's no place. Recently, there was something that happened in the community, and people were trashing somebody, and I'm like, watch, they're gonna start making fun of him for being gay, and people did. It's just it's boring. It's boring.
Yeah, Renee had said, I was raised in a Mormon household. At age 15, my parents offered me the choice of either remaining or leaving. Now, here's the thing, though. It sounds like you had a different situation than I think of in most cases, where they say, oh, yeah, now you can choose to stay or to leave. But when you leave, you have nowhere to go. So, of course, you're going to think about staying, right?
Exactly. And you know what, Staggerson, there's nothing wrong with being super closeted. It's just for me, it's the people who hate on people who are just like them. Like I don't get it. It just doesn't compute in my brain.
And that's the difficulty of being trans, is there's no way you can stay closeted if you're going to be true to yourself.
True.
Right.
Yeah. I've been out my whole life, just originally identifying as bi, for as long as I've been having sex. But
so that would be for the last 55 years, right, hon?
yeah, pretty close to it. About when I was 15 or 16.
Can somebody explain to me the logic for people harassing, putting down, and calling people who are ace perverts?
I don't get any of it.
I don't get it at all.
I'll tell you, no matter who you are, what you are, somebody will find something to make fun of you for.
Okay, historical note that most people are not aware of. Heterosexual was originally a derogatory term.
Yep.
In the 30s, the newspapers used it to refer to married couples who had the audacity of having sex with no intention of having children.
So one of the
because to the Catholic Church, that was a sin. You're supposed to have sex to have children, otherwise don't do it.
Where I'm from. Sorry.
Go
ahead.
One of the things that really bugs me about ace phobia is that people always assume that it's because of trauma. And that bugs me in particular because I have touch aversion because of trauma. It's not, there's a difference between an identity and a pathology. And pathologizing a group intentionally like that, just because you want to tear them down, is really, really shitty.
This is why I have the policy of leaving people alone. This is why I stay off of Twitter. To go back on how toxic Twitter is, this is why I stay off of Twitter.
To go after aces of all people, because I mean, aren't they the one group that is just going to leave everybody alone?
Yes.
Well, they're the one group that is fulfilling the desire of the people who scream about sexually active heterosexuals or any gay person or any trans person, that they're not having sex.
Yeah, but they're not having children. You
They're
can't have
literally
that
out
either.
here just minding their own business, living their best life.
Yeah, but you can't have women who aren't having children. That's just not allowed.
They don't fit in the box, so people are gonna scream, point, and yell. Pick a category. If you do not fit that category, someone's gonna hate you for it, no matter what you do.
And that is something that has been a weird experience for me as a trans guy, is that my mother-in-law, for a while, she pretended like she was going to be okay with it. But then like she started really harassing me about the fact that I was not going to carry children for my husband. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not loaning out my organs so that you can have a grandkid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful the way they always get on you about the grandkid thing, because at my sister's memorial service, the female slimy bastard turned and looked at me with that look that you knew she had something to say, and it was, I guess you're the last one, huh? And we all knew that I had had a vasectomy by that time, so it really gave me a hard time.
Well, and I've gotten a lot of shit about it because my husband is an only child.
Okay.
But so they've given me crap about how I have taken away his chance at having a family, but he doesn't want to have kids.
I'm gonna jump off. It's been great talking to you, and I will see you soon. Diana, I'm always here for you if you ever need me. My DMs are open.
Thank you, honey. Sincerely, really and truly. I don't know how to avail myself of all these offers, but maybe I can learn.
I'm just saying, if you ever need me, I'll shut up and listen for once. It was great. It was great talking to all of you, and I'll see you later.
Good night.
Okay.
Well, kiss.
Catch you later, Will.
Later, kid.
Oh my.
Will is one of the few people who can consistently make me lose it. He is just so funny.
He's a sweetie. He is. Yeah, I was going to say, now that he's gone, we can talk about him behind his back, but we already are. So,
I can't remember who I was talking to in the chat earlier because names are hard for me, but I found a pound of lavender yarn in my stash, and I had a horrible idea.
Uh-oh. What were you going to do? Crochet me a kidney?
Yes! So I have a pound of yarn, and I have like 3 pounds of stuffing, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's an enormous amount of stuffing.
Oh, do it.
I thought it would be really hilarious just as a thing to like do for attention, to get people's attention, is to like crochet a giant fucking purple kidney.
Do it. Be sure to include the vessels and stuff that go into it from outside.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I've got different shades of purple, so we could do like all like the different tubes. I don't know. I'm not the medical person. Where's Ben?
Well, Ben is sleeping now because Ben is going to be taking over early in the morning.
That's fair.
Is tonight the night?
So you're another yarn crafter, huh?
I'm sorry, what?
Jenny, what were you saying?
Is this the night that you said you got to go 4 hours?
No, that wasn't supposed to be tonight. Unfortunately,
that's the Christmas.
Minna was supposed to have taken over, but has said that she's having internet difficulties. So, I've been having to continue this past when Minna was supposed to start already. And we just have to kind of keep it going and hope that she can get things sorted out. At this point, we may wind up going 4 hours if Minnow can't get the internet working.
Ah.
And Larry, I want to say that this is like only the second show I've been on with you. I find you thoroughly enjoyable.
Thank you. I don't social very much, so I'm trying very hard.
Yeah, same here. I met you over on B's stream recently, but didn't really know who you were.
That's okay. I don't know who I am either.
Yesterday was the first time I saw you, and you're fascinating. I love you, dear. Thank you.
I hope that's a good thing and not like a fascinating like bacteria on an auger tray kind of thing.
Well, that's not bad either. You know,
Hey, don't knock it. Bacteria on a petri dish is how I got my first girlfriend.
Well, Diana can't be the only self-deprecating person on here. She'll feel alone.
Yeah,
it was in my freshman biology class, and we were doing things of taking samples to grow things in a petri dish to see like what was the most contaminated surface. And I put a piece of tape on her arm to put in a petri dish, and that's how I got my first girlfriend.
Yeah, don't pick on bacteria in petri dishes. My birth sign is Pyrex.
We actually, for my senior biology class, we made glowing bacteria.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
You
So
actually
we got it was like a kit. So like we didn't do it like all by ourselves, but for our senior final, we got samples of I think it was an artificial gene for bioluminescence.
Okay.
And so it was literally just like protein goo in a cup. But then we actually had like a whole experiment that we had to do where we had to insert the genes and then culture the bacteria and see if the genes took. And like it was really, really fucking cool.
That sounds fascinating. I love
What
that.
age were you when you did that?
I was a senior in high school. So that was I was not actually part of the IB program because I couldn't afford it, but I was allowed to take some of the classes. So these were like accelerated classes that were for college credit. And so the senior biology was off the fucking hook. It was a really, really great class, and they gave us so many resources to like design experiments for different things, and we got really, really into like chemical pathways and stuff in a really detailed way that we didn't do in freshman biology. Like it was a really, really cool class. I wish that I could have gotten the college credit for it.
When I was a senior, we were still fucking around with putting fruit flies in the same jar and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was amazing. I was in high school in the 70s, and I was not enamored of biology because it was all boring. It was all just, this animal looks like this, and this animal has sex this way. But I wish that when I was in high school, the biology I had could have been like the biology I had once I went to school, once I went to university the second time. Because by then, my God, it was so grown up, and
the other class that I did that was really, really great was I actually had an opportunity to take zoology.
Ooh.
And zoology was basically like a step-by-step deep dive into the history of the evolution of life. So we started with
you did phylogeny and stuff like that.
So we did an extensive study of phylogeny, and then we had like 9 or 10 different dissections that we did. And so like literally every third week of the class, we started with like planaria and flatworms, observing them, and then we dissected leeches and then crayfish, and then we did a shark. Unfortunately, the big one that we had to close out the end of the year was we had to dissect a cat, which was not great. It was very educational, though.
Our last dissection was the student teacher.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have a student teacher, so I missed out on that. But, we never got to primates.
Well, not the second semester didn't.
I got used to this stuff. When I was at uni the second time, I was working in a lab at Iron Ear Hospital in Pittsburgh, and we were studying the vestibular system of kitty cats. And what surprised me was that I had two cats at home, and they were my companions. And the kitty cats at the lab were tools, and it amazed me how I was able to compartmentalize. You know,
Yeah.
they were not the same thing. They looked very similar, but they were not the same thing at all.
Yeah, I would not be able to do that.
Oh no, we had to skin our samples, and it was not a good time.
Okay, then. Yeah, all we did was pop the skulls open and drop electrodes, so no skinning involved.
No, we
Yeah,
had to do we had to do the whole thing. We had to do like the muscular dissection, so we had to skin it and then take off the epidermis so that we could examine the muscular structure and then the internal body cavity and all that stuff. Like it was very, very thorough.
I took the pass at dissecting the frog. I guess basically once it got to anything with an internal skeleton, I couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah,
we did the fetal pigs in freshman bio at uni the second time, and I was amazed that they still did that stuff. But because I know that the biology 2 in high school, which they didn't offer every year because not enough people wanted to take it every year. I wanted to take it, not enough were there that year. But they did the fetal pigs, and this was this was 1973. And it amazed me that they still did the freshman pig. They still did the pigs, but okay.
Yep. I did that my freshman year too.
Yeah, 1979. That we didn't do them ourselves. They just had one fetal pig that the teacher did demonstration on. So I wasn't actually cutting it, but still was hard to watch.
My dad bought
That
me
was one of those where. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Bought me this deluxe microscope set when I was about 10 years old, and it was a nice kids microscope. It was pretty powerful and stuff. Hard to fucking light the stage, but anyways, with it came a frog, a crayfish, and one other thing I can't remember what it was to dissect. It came in a little bottle of formaldehyde.
What they have in formalin.
And at the same time, my mom was a registered nurse at the local county hospital, and she went to pathology department and begged them for slides from various samples and stuff. And they gave her just a shitload of stuff, from sickle cell anemia to normal blood to brain tissue, heart tissue.
Oh, that's really cool.
Tissue and stuff. And so I actually got to compare these different tissue samples from a frog and a human, and it was like real shocking to me as a kid, because I'm going, well, you can't tell these apart. The frog things look just like human things, and a brain is a brain, and it was my first introduction to this religion is bullshit.
Well, that's because they had a common designer.
Well, I have to say, there is something about. I can kind of separate it as long as there's a reason for something dying. I've helped butchered a couple of deer. I don't have the problem of this is meat. It's going to go in the freezer. It's going to get cooked and eaten.
I love venison.
So I can acknowledge the needing to do things like that, but I can't deal with it if it seems wasteful, if it seems there wasn't a real reason for it.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Well, I ate the frog in the end, just so.
I don't know how they sourced like the larger samples. I do know that the cats came from a humane shelter. Where, they have to, they occasionally have to euthanize cats. And so I know that our school sourced that from those shelters.
I didn't know they were allowed to do that.
Technically, they're just kind of considered organic waste. After
Yeah,
they've
well,
been euthanized.
Again, I'm sure it depends what state you live in, but if the state law just says they can be used for educational purposes.
I do not know where they got 20 sharks from in a landlocked state, though. That is a mystery to me.
At Ioneer, we had to get our kitties from Carolina Biological.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be from a source that was specifically for experimentation.
Okay.
Human kidneys?
No, kitty cats.
Oh, kitty.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, Kate tells me that I mumble, and she's got to be right. But yeah, they would ship us live cats, and we'd put them under, and well, they had to be alive because we had to observe the brain in operation.
Well, these they.
So you couldn't use magas.
Say again, honey.
You couldn't use magas. Trump
Right,
supporters.
right, absolutely right.
I was actually invited once to do a study on it was some kind of study on human neurology. They wanted me to get like a series of brain scans done, and I turned it down. And I kind of wish I had done it.
Oh man, I'd have been all over that one. I was pissed off when I had my cranial surgery back in '76. I wanted to watch, and
Yeah.
they said, "No, we want you and this." They promised me pictures, and I didn't even get those. Damn it!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now see, I think that would be kind of cool that if I had to have surgery again, you know, if they could record the whole thing so I could watch the video afterward.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they changed out my port.
What was that, Jenny? You kind of broke up.
They don't want the mistakes shown or the commentary they make.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, the last time I got my port changed out, the one for the that they're using for dialysis right now, I did get to watch that one, and that was great, man. You know, you see this thing moving, and that's in here. All right.
when I almost cut my thumb off, and they were putting it back on in the ER, the hand surgeon said, "Well, we're going to put you under, you know, because it's fairly traumatic." And I said, "No, I want to watch." And he looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And I really wanted to see it, and I got to see it, and it was kind of cool. It was kind of shocking how they dug down into me with these forceps and pulled the tendon out to reattach it and things.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool to learn what it took.
Yeah. When I shredded up my fingers, I couldn't look at it at the time. When I had to change the bandage, I took pictures of it to, you know, look at later after it was wrapped up again. But, you know, I couldn't actually look at it, you know, while I was experiencing the pain.
Have you ever seen a live X-ray of yourself?
You mean like
not a moving one, no.
I had an upper GI once, and that's, you know, where they put you on the table and make you drink the barium milkshake, and they tip you up and down and look at your digestive tract. And
right.
I got to see all of the stuff going on the X-ray. It was pretty sweet.
So I don't know if they're going to let me. I don't know if they're going to let me watch this next time because Monday I have another procedure coming up to change this thing out again. 4 of these damn ports in 6 months.
Well,
say again.
That's just part of the deal. Relax.
I'm not looking forward to being turned into a pincushion, but I am looking forward to having this thing the hell out of here.
Yeah, but you know, understand it. It's what's keeping you alive, and it's a whole shitload of stuff to tolerate. But you know, we want you. You want to be alive. You know,
not necessarily.
Try to refrain.
Well, a lot of other people want you to be alive, and that's got to count for something.
I have to do a show on that one of these days, because I get a lot of this stuff where everybody says we want you around and that sort of thing. And is it selfish of them to say that?
Sure it is. So what?
Yeah.
Yes. This is entirely selfish on my part.
So I don't mean to kill the mood in the room, but this is something that I have PTSD, And one of the
Okay.
presentations of my PTSD is I occasionally have pretty severe bouts of suicidal ideation. And so I have heard literally every speech ever constructed about how your life doesn't just belong to you. Think about other people. And I know that it sucks, and I know that like it makes you feel bad, but you know, dying sucks.
See, I'm better at depression than you are, Larry. I don't need PTSD to get depressed. I just do it all by myself.
I'm not concerned about being dead. I mean, there won't be any need to be concerned about anything. What I'm concerned about is the transition, getting that way.
Yeah.
Aaron Ra has said this also. He said, yeah, he's not afraid of death. He's afraid of dying. And I just don't want the last thing I know to be extreme, what's the word I'm working for, trauma. Even though I'm not going to remember it. Once you're dead, there's no you. You're not going to know anything. And the present isn't there, and then the past you experience through the present, so there's no past either. But still, it is scary.
I so wish there was. I so wish there wasn't an afterlife with intact memory of your life and stuff like that, and that there really was reincarnation, that you take the time to learn from your previous life, and that you go out blank, but still with the wiring set up, that you have some kind of innate sense of
that you learned something from your previous lives.
What this new self needs. It would be it would be so cool to experience that period of learning. But
I did try suicide twice when I was a teenager, and basically I just keep going with the logic that after you're dead, you don't really have any options. So if I stay alive, maybe tomorrow I'll have a better option.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any options, but there's no you anymore. You don't need any options. The one thing I think anymore, the main reason I'm still alive is because I'm too chicken to go ahead with the suicide, because I might fuck it up, and then I'm really screwed. Because if I try suicide and I fail, I live through it, and I really mess myself up, I've got to deal with that now, and it's like,
Yeah.
Well, as I understand it, that's the biggest fear or lack of understanding or difficulty with the perception that people have about death and dying is the concept of just being gone, like being completely asleep and never having remembered falling asleep, and that you just are, and that there's no memory, there's no dreams, that there's nothing.
Yeah, I tell you, when I try to wrap my head around it, I just can't do it. It's I find myself asking the question, how's it going to feel to be dead? And wait a minute, Clarion, there's going to be no you to feel anything, and it's because you experience everything from within your own head, because there's a you experiencing everything, literally. You just cannot conceive of being that television set that's turned off.
Yeah.
You're always looking at the television set that is turned off, but being that set that's not functioning, it's just that you don't get that. What the heck is going on here? Do we have trolls coming in here?
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, we've got spammers. They've discovered my channel, so yeah, they're coming back every hour.
What do they spam? Sex sites and stuff?
We're assuming pornography, but nobody's really going to look.
I think somebody who was moderating earlier said they were porn bots.
Yeah, I think that's what they are. It's not like it doesn't look like a normal web link. It's got a .fyi.
Yeah.
So I don't know whatever that domain is.
I don't know how many domains are out there, because I'll tell you, ICANN has gone nuts with the top level domains anymore. because you used to have just like com, org, edu, and gov, but now, God, you've got so many of them.
Well, a lot of those are for different countries. That
Mhm.
each little country has its own domains, and some countries, basically, they've made it a major industry of, selling websites with their domains brings them a fair amount of income, especially for the sketchy stuff that the larger countries are tending to censor.
No, okay, yeah.
But I just wanted to clarify that, none of that is coming from a place of judgment, especially because I know what it's like to feel like you're resigning yourself to a constant existence of suffering. And I know that that is a lot to deal with, not in the same way, not for the same reasons, but it is a lot to think to yourself, there's a possibility that, pain is just going to be happening indefinitely. And so, it is very, very easy for an outsider to say, well, you should just be able to deal with it. Well, you should just do this. Well, you should just do that. But what you're hearing from people is out of affection that, people care about you and people want you to be well.
Yeah, and I get that. The other thing, though, is it is kind of misplaced. But then there is that whole Catholic thing.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that first made me develop the cracks in my religious affiliation, if you will, was the confraternity class in the Sunday school for high school kids. And we're sitting in the room, and the teacher is going on about euthanasia. And he presents a scene where the elderly guy in extreme pain, terminally ill, begging for the release of death. And he's going up and down. What would you do? What would you do? And of course, every one of them is towing the line. And he comes to me and says, well, I would not want this guy to be experiencing suffering like this. And he literally screamed at me, it's God's will! And I'm looking,
Oh God.
is that the God you believe in and worship? And I mean, that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, the Christians who like to say Hitler was an atheist, and it's like, have you read the Old Testament? Show me where the God of the Old Testament was better than Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Hitler was Roman Catholic.
Yep.
Yeah. They literally had Gott mit uns on everything.
Yes.
Are you sure? I thought I heard that Hitler was German Lutheran Protestant.
And you can make whatever speculation you want about whether or not he believed it sincerely in private, but in public he obviously, that was the religion that he promoted for his country to follow.
I remember clearly watching a documentary about the German administrations, the German political aspirations during the war and stuff like that, and there was definitely a heavy bent towards religion in the whole thing that was a motivator, and there was a lot of concern or desire to know as much as they could about the concept of an afterlife and what religions support that concept, and how do they worship for that kind of concept and stuff like that. That it was definitely very alternative in their philosophies, but it was, other than that basic caveat of kind of out there, it was still very much the traditional religious structure that we know of, the Ten Commandments and stuff like that, Christianity. But I had heard that it was predominantly a Protestant type of thing. Lutheranism came out of Germany with Martin Luther.
Right. The other one was they were heavily into the occult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. and Stool has it right there. The Hitler was an atheist. People are hilariously dumb. The other one, Stalin, would not have got where he was without the Russian Orthodox Church. Okay,
Yep.
when you look at it, without aligning himself with them very closely, he would not have been where he was. And he
Yeah,
knew,
you know, and
that he had to use that.
for everything they try to preach, like I said, I tried to commit suicide twice, and I really did not have any sense of ethics until I gave the entire Bible up as bullshit and realized that, hey, I actually need to be responsible for my own actions.
Yeah, huh? Yep. Oh, yay.
I think for me, growing into an adult, I definitely had a similar experience where I realized at a very early age that I didn't believe the church's doctrine to be literally true. And then as a teenager, I realized I was like an outright atheist and didn't really believe in any kind of metaphysical construct at all. And then from that point, you know, well, I don't believe in any of this. So what do I believe in? What is correct? What is the best way to arrive at, you know, being an ethical person? And I think that having that experience really has shaped who I am as a person. And I think that if I had stayed in the church, I would not be the same kind of person I am. And I think that would be to a detriment.
Well, after I gave up on Christianity, I spent 25 years studying a whole bunch of different pagan religions, thinking that there still had to be something, there was some kind of divine power, you know, and it's like, yeah, after 25 years of looking into as many different religions as I could find, I just came to the conclusion that nobody really has anything but a lot of stories.
Pretty much. And I like it that way. I really do.
I did the same thing where, like, after I left my parents' religion, I was very lost and I wanted to attach myself to some kind of structure. And so I read up on a lot of different religions and I read the Quran. And I had a Jewish friend who talked to me about, you know, Judaism and like Reformed Judaism in particular. And I got into studying like Eastern religion and Buddhism and stuff like that. And the more I read about everything, the more it became apparent to me the anthropological nature of religion.
Okay.
In the sense that it is all constructed, and each individual religion is constructed around the needs of the people at the time who created it.
Yeah.
And that really cemented this state for me where I'm not capable of believing in man-created religions anymore, I don't think.
Which is all of them.
Minnow has gotten her stuff sorted out, so it's time for us to all jump over to her channel.
Okay.
Who, what, where, when? Can I have that again? I missed it.
Minnow has got her tech problems, her internet sorted out.
Yay!
So I just put the link in the YouTube chat for the public part of that.
Okay.
And
I don't see it anywhere.
It just came up at the bottom of the whatever the hell that thing is.
yeah, in the private chat here, then I'll drop the
I think it
StreamYard
looks like
link that you left on Twitter.
Yeah, it's on Twitter.
Oh, okay, there it is.
I'm gonna step out for a second, but I'm gonna be back.
Yep. So okay, so yeah, I'm gonna close this down. Everybody can move over there now.
Alrighty, we can do that.
Hey, I know we're going to lose some of the chat. You guys were really great tonight. I wish Purple was feeling more up to it, so she could have put more about your comments up there. But it's always nice to know that you're out there and listening.
Yeah, we always appreciate y'all coming and being with us.
Okay, I'm going to.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, and Mage just reposted the link there for the YouTube chat.
Yay.
Okay, so, yeah, we thank you all, everyone, and I'm going to shut this down now.
And I
we will
thank
catch you all
everybody
later.
from the bottom of my whatever the fuck it is.
So we'll see you over in Minnow's channel.